the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm answering your YouTube questions. So if you have a question about what it is that you are doing on YouTube, there's a form down in the description of this stream right now where you can get your questions in there. And if you can get it in there like right now, it'll get answered because we don't have hardly any questions in there at this moment in time. So make sure that you do get your questions down in the form right now. And if you are watching this on the replay, I do want to let you know we talk about all kinds of YouTube related things during this live stream. And, as part of that conversation, a lot of really interesting and fun and helpful and informative information comes out about YouTube in terms of, how to get more views, how to get more subscribers, how to make more money on YouTube. And within all of those things, there's also tons of nuance that we talk about as well, based on the questions that come in, because this is a 100% Q&A stream. So if you are watching this on the replay, I recommend that you check the timestamps that are down in the description, or you can hover them across the bottom of the player there on YouTube so you can find the answers to the questions that matter most to you. And if you are here live, what is going on? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Hope that you are having a fantastic weekend. If you are over in the US and you are just waking up, welcome to Saturday. If you're from somewhere else, what is going on? Hope that you're doing great. Hope that you had a fantastic week. As we get into this today, I do want to remind everybody that today's stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, which is the #1 tool for YouTube content creators. TubeBuddy will help you optimize your video for discovery. TubeBuddy will help you test your thumbnails to make sure that the thumbnails that you're making for your viewers are performing for you the way that you would like them to. So basically how this works is it allows you to put two thumbnails against each other, and then it'll let you know who the winner is, essentially, is what that tool does. It's fantastic. In addition to that, there's like bulk update tools where you can like add stuff or remove stuff from all of your descriptions like in a matter of seconds, things like that. But they have over 90 different tools to help you with your YouTube channel. You can try TubeBuddy free through the link down in the description below, or just go to tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. And that's Nimmin. This stream is co-brought to you by StreamYard, which is the live streaming platform that I use to live stream this every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And the reason that I use StreamYard is because it's super easy, like crazy easy. And in addition to that, they make it easy to bring on guests. They do all the hosting for you in the cloud. So in the event that you have a technical problem and your stream goes down, then your stream itself won't go down. If your tech goes down, your internet goes down, your power goes out, something like that, they keep everything open for you in the cloud. So you can just keep on trucking and you don't lose the audience that you have. You can just pick up your phone, come in that way, and then you can just keep on moving without losing that audience that you accumulated over time. In addition to that, it's easy to add graphics on the screen. Like you can see me, flipping through these, different graphics right now. A lot of different just helpful things for you as a content creator inside of StreamYard, including screen sharing. You can record directly into StreamYard itself, all kinds of really cool stuff. But you can check that out at StreamYard.com, or you can check out the link down in the description if you want to give me a little bit of credit on that one so they know where, where it's coming from. But in addition to that, there's also a bunch of other helpful tools for you and resources for you down in the video description. So if you are a YouTube content creator, you make videos of any kind, make sure that you check that out because, there's some really good stuff down there. It's all the stuff that I personally use and recommend. So make sure that you check that out as well. And with all that out of the way, super pumped up to have this live stream today. Before we get rolling, for those of you that are here on a regular basis, I'm sure you've seen Roger Wakefield come in to the live stream, from time to time and just say, hey, and, he always interacts and always just really kind to everybody here. He's really supportive in terms of, encouraging YouTubers all the time. Like anytime he comes in here, anytime he's in other content creators live streams that talk about YouTube, he's in there trying to help YouTubers out, just trying to, keep you encouraged to do the thing. I want to let you know that he just crossed 500,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, and high five and fist bump to him because, as a content creator, somebody that's, been doing this for a while myself, as somebody that's worked with others doing this, like it's tough, right? Like it's not an easy thing, especially the consistency side, making sure that you keep doing the thing. And in addition to that, just trying to experiment and do different things. So in his case, what Roger did is he started a channel and he was doing one thing, and then he switched to still serving that same audience, but with a different type of content. And when he started doing that, his channel just started lifting up and started taking off. So the reason that I'm telling you this is, one, to congratulate him, but two, also just so that you can know that if you are, heading in a direction on YouTube and you're growing, but it's not necessarily going the way that you want at this moment in time, always be open to experimentation, because in his case, if he was doing the same thing and just kept doing what he was doing previously before he pivoted, then in that particular case, he might not be where he's at right now. So because of that, just make sure that you are, open to experimentation. And really quick, I forgot to close my door over here, so I'm gonna have to do that. I'll be right back.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right, so now we got the door closed and we are ready to kind of sink into the zone here a little bit and answer your YouTube questions. So if you're just joining the stream, I do want to let you know that this entire stream is a Q&A stream. You can get your questions answered in the description down below. There's a form, and in that form, all you have to do is put your question in there. And as I get to it, as we're going through the stream today, because I'm going to be streaming for about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. And as we're going through it, then, I just answer them in the order that they are received. So if you have a question about something you're trying to better understand or something like that on your channel, make sure that you go ahead and you get that down in the description so I can get it answered for you. Now, we have a super chat to get this party started right here. And this is coming from Triathlon with Coach John. Says, thank you, Nick, for all your advice. I passed 1,000 subscribers this week. High five and fist bump to you. Love it. Love seeing those milestones come in. I know you've been grinding it out for a while trying to hit that 1,000, so super happy to see you hit it. Saying the struggle is real and will always be a student of YouTube as I grow to 10K. Here's the thing, man, is like when you are, when you hit that 1,000 subscriber milestone, and with all the videos that you've put out, like you should be able to look at your channel now and see a very clear path on the content that people respond to compared to the content they don't, and so on. I really recommend that if you haven't done it yet, that you do go into your YouTube analytics, go into the grouping feature in your advanced analytics, and start comparing different, types of content against each other, and start trying to get a really good understanding of the very specific content that people respond to best when it comes to your YouTube channel, the content that people keep coming back for. Get familiar with the content that typically pushes you into new viewers. So if you go into like growth mode, you can make sure that you are making more of that content so you can get in front of more people, things like that. But I really encourage you, if you haven't yet, or if you're not already doing this, to go into your analytics, go use the grouping feature, and just start, grouping your content together in a way that makes sense for figuring out, with your type of content specifically, the exact things that your audience is responding to best. Because you should have that information now, because you've crossed 1,000 subscribers, which means you've got a decent amount of, views on your content. And that's going to help you better understand the content that you need to, double down on moving forward. And the content, if you still want to make the other stuff, perfectly fine. But I'm just saying, when you know exactly the content that grows the channel, then in that case, if you want to go into that growth phase, then in that case, you can, just double down on that content. Congratulations again for that first 1,000. Shark Scrapper, what's going on? Nice to see you in here. Old Trish, nice to see you here as well, going crazy in the kitchen. Welcome to the live stream today, KMH family. What's going on? Chantel Hills, nice to see you in here. Doug Houston, YT, what is going on, my man? Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Music Train says, wow, how cool is Nick's live stream setup? So professional. Thank you for that. Definitely put a lot of fun and time and effort into the live stream setup. Always trying to improve it, just kind of in little tiny bits. So for example, I just started, using a different camera. I don't know if you can tell. For those of you that are into like, camera optics, you guys will be able to tell. But, casual viewers that aren't into that kind of stuff, they probably can't tell, but I just like messing with it and trying to make things better. So the main camera that I'm using here now is a Sony a7S III with a 35 millimeter G Master lens on it. So that's why it looks all like smooth and buttery and all that stuff. And we've got good, nice little gradients in my skin tones and, all of those things that, that people, upgrade cameras for. So that's what's going on there. So thanks for the compliment. I appreciate it. Danielle Tube Spanner says, I tried the new best time to publish tool for a video that I made about dentists. It recommended 2:30. 2:30. Got it. That's a good one. You had to dig deep for that one, though. Let's be honest. On the 230, you're like looking up rhymes and all kinds of stuff for that, or you're just having the AI like make jokes. One of the two. Oh, absolutely love it. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and get into the questions. Oh, we got another one that came in here really quick, so let me go ahead and get this one answered. And we have, it says, hey, Nick, I ran ads on my first 2 videos and I got 500 subs, but I stopped the ads and they're getting no views. Has this damaged my channel beyond repair? No, it hasn't. But here's the thing, though, is when you do run ads on your channel, like if you haven't learned how to do the, organic side of things yet on YouTube in terms of making thumbnails that people respond to or that grab attention, making titles that people respond to, and then, of course, the core most important thing of making the content itself that people really enjoy, then what happens is, you can keep spending money on it, but as soon as you turn off the ad spend, then you have those people that have subscribed or those people that have interacted with the content that maybe YouTube will recommend that content to. But if you still haven't learned how to get people to click, then in that particular case, it was a waste of money, right? So because of that, it doesn't mean that your channel's damaged. What it means is that you need to kind of, start at the, ground level again and start building up the skills in terms of learning how to make, impactful or attention grabbing thumbnails, learning how to make titles that are informative and or compelling, and also learning how to make the video content in a way that the people that you are trying to reach will respond in it, will get value or will respond to it, will get value from it, and of course will enjoy the experience they're having as they're going through it, so that YouTube will end up recommending more of your content to them in the future, as long as you can continue keeping, getting them to click, getting them to, enjoy the content. So don't worry about it. Don't think that you've like broken it, because you've just spent enough to get 500 subscribers. So I'm guessing it hasn't been tons of activity there. So don't worry about it too much. Just focus on learning the core skill sets in order to be able to do all of that organically. It's Joe says, always enjoy your content, Nick. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Joe. Super appreciate it. Super appreciate your support there over the last 13 months. Thank you so much. The first question that we're going to get into right now is from K Skis. And if you're just joining us, I'm pulling these questions from the form that is down in the description. It's free for you to put your questions down there. I answer them in the order that they're received. And if you can get your question in there now, then there's a really good chance it'll get answered on the stream today. So if you do have a question, make sure you get it down there in the form. But let's see here. K-Skis says they've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do a gaming/reaction channel. The goal of the channel is to be more consistent or making entertaining videos. And the question is, First off, morning, Nick. Good morning. Hope that you're doing fantastic. Welcome to Saturday. Welcome to the, official weekend. It says, so I have a second channel, but I haven't posted anything on it. And I want the channel to be my music channel, but I also want to make it an art channel as well. Is it possible for me to do it, considering art and music are kind of under the same genre when it relates to arts in general? So this is a really interesting question, and I'm going to explain it to you like this. So if you were to watch another YouTube channel, and on that YouTube channel, let's say you go there for music and you weren't really into art. Let's say that you loved music, you're obsessed with music, but you didn't really care that much about art in terms of, wanting to, watch YouTube videos of people making art and things like that. Like you weren't that into it. Then what would happen is you would go and you would, subscribe to that channel for the music, and then YouTube, if they detect that, hey, you're really listening to, or you're interacting with this channel a lot, which if you're listening to music, you're probably listening to the videos for a long period of time and things like that. So they'll start recommending you some of the other content on the channel. And then what's going to happen is if you're not into that art content, then you're not going to click on it, which then is going to hurt your click-through rate for the people that YouTube think is, is the ideal people for that, because they are the most engaged in your content and all that. So it can end up working against you in that regard, because you end up breaking that chain of all of your content being of interest to a particular type of viewer. Now, if we remove the art from that particular section, or we remove the music and we just focus on art, or we just split them into 2 different channels, then what we get then is, let's say that I love watching you do art. And let's say I just love, how you are talking about the art. Maybe you're telling stories through the art, while you're also, making the thing, or maybe you're teaching it, then what can happen there is I can go to your YouTube channel, and anything that I look at in that particular case is going to be of value to me as somebody that enjoys art content, or if it was music in that case. So then I could actually click on any of the videos on your YouTube channel, and then I could start binge watching all of your content. And it would be extremely easy for me to do compared to if I'm like, okay, let me watch some of this art content, and then I have to hit your channel page, and then I have to go through and find the art videos when they're mixed in with the music videos, or I have to find the music videos when they're mixed in with the art videos. There's too many great resources on YouTube to even go through that effort. So because of that, a lot of people will just be like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and just go watch somebody else's, channel where I can just go, watch everything about the art. Without being distracted by this other stuff, or go listen to music on the other channel. So I can just sit there and binge watch it without having to get into the, art side of things. So if it was me, of course you can do whatever you like, but if it was me, what I would do is, if I was really into music and I wanted to have a YouTube channel about it, then I would make that channel about music. And if I was really into art and I wanted to have a YouTube channel about that, then I would make a channel about art. Keep in mind, running 2 YouTube channels, especially when you're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't at the very beginning stages, is, going to be a challenge. However, if you have the time and, you have the energy to make content for both of them, then if it was me, that's what I would do, just for the sake of making sure that the content is a great fit for the audience that would consume each one of those types of content. So hopefully that makes sense. Paul Peck, Drywall Tube. What's up, man? Hope you're doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. Learn Spanish World. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I've noticed that some of my shorts do well for a few hours, but once they reach 3,000, they reach a plateau and they stop getting views completely, not even 1 or 2 views. Any ideas why this might be happening? So shorts work the same way that video content does, but it can be a little bit more extreme. Hey, Ron, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing awesome. But basically, when it comes to shorts, you have that, core group of people. Based on how that core group of people respond is going to determine what it is that they're going to prioritize, if yours is going to keep getting shown to people, or if somebody else's or a bunch of other people's content is going to end up taking the spot that you would have had if their videos weren't outperforming yours. So one of the things when it comes to YouTube Shorts is, of course, the more general the content is, the better off you are, because then it can resonate with a lot more people. But within that, you also want to make sure that you are being in alignment with your niche, because YouTube is building the bridge between shorts content, between long content, between, live streams, like all of that. They are essentially collecting all of that information so that they can better recommend content, regardless of if it's a short, if it's a, regular, I'll call it a regular, if it's a long, let's do that, or a live stream. So definitely keep that in mind in terms of why things like that happen. They'll also do things where they freeze views just so that the system will verify the views and make sure that it's, not fraudulent activity, and then, keep going from there. Natalie, Design to the Nines, what's going on? Hope that you are fantastic. Good morning. Good evening. Yeah, here. Brad, Magic Flying Potato, what's going on, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. So our next question that we have here, this one's coming from the forum, and really quick, Spike Wade says, thanks for the super chat, by the way, says, made it to 1,000 because of your tips. Thanks, Nick. High five and fist bump to you. You made it to 1,000 because you put in the work and you did the stuff, right? It's you. You might have gotten some, some good leads here in terms of, the right things to do, but you're the one putting in the hard work. So high five and fist bump to you for hitting that first 1,000. Keep in mind too, if you can get to 1,000, then you have proof of concept, meaning that if you can get to 1,000, then, you can get to 10,000 because you've proven that you can get 1,000. You just have to put in the content, put in the time to get to, the 10,000. Of course, trying to figure out the right things to do in order to speed up that process and all that is definitely what you want to do as well. But if you can get to 1,000, then you can get to 100,000, you can get to 1,000,000 with your content. It's just filling in the content in the time between now and when those things happen. So you're on the right path. Keep going, keep trying to get better. And congratulations again for that first 1,000 on your channel. So next up on our list here is the Christian Hardscaper, and this one's coming from the form that we have in the description. And by the way, if you are just joining us, what we're doing is we're talking about YouTube, and I've got a form down in the description where people are putting questions in, and I'm answering those questions in the order that they come in. So I'm going to be streaming here for about like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, and the whole entire time, we're just going to be sitting here answering these questions. I'm going to try to get through as many as I possibly can. Eileen Smith, what's going on? Hope that you're doing awesome. Hey, one thing also, man, I can't believe that I forgot to mention this is here. I have to actually hunt this down because I completely blew it in terms of mentioning this. So Andrew Can, who he basically is responsible for growing the TubeBuddy YouTube channel to like 500,000 subscribers. Now he does work with Disney for, you know, their YouTube channel, and he's worked with like Salesforce for theirs. Like he's really knowledgeable in what it is that he does when it comes to YouTube. And he just started. How many people here on Discord? If you're on Discord, just say me, because what he did is he started a Discord for content creators, and I just want to make sure that you guys know about it because let's see here. Let me go back into the studio. I just want to make sure that you guys know about it because, you know, he's really good at just like community management and like all of that stuff. So this Discord will probably end up turning into like a really cool place to hang out if you are a YouTube content creator. So I'm going to put a link here in the Discord for creators. Boom. Join Andrew's free Discord for creators, and that is now down in the video description. And I'm going to go ahead and just put a link here as well. I just dropped it in the chat. So if you are somebody that, you know, that is on Discord, make sure that you check that out and, you know, go there, participate, have a good time. He just started it, so it's like brand new. But if you are a content creator, make sure that you go and you check that out. But another really awesome thing about Andrew is he's really encouraging because, you know, as a content creator, it's often, you know, a solo experience for a lot of us. And since it is such a solo experience, one of the things that can happen is you can just get discouraged just because you're not talking to other content creators. So, you know, some of you will, you know, kind of deal with that through live streams and that sort of thing. But Discord is another place where you can, you know, have those conversations. And in Andrew's Discord specifically, you know, you'll be able to get a lot of, you know, inspiration out of there, get a lot of, you know, really good tips on, you know, growing your channel and things like that. Eileen, thank you for your support. Super appreciate it. Says we go way back. Absolutely, we do. Way back. Yeah, like, let's see, I've been doing this for 8 years. So yeah, we're like 7.5 years. Yeah, way back, like way back. Okay, so our next question today is from the Christian Hardscaper. Christian Hardscaper says, good morning, Nick. Hope you're well. I am. Hope that you are well also. Says, just wanted your opinion on why YouTube won't let you choose your thumbnail for shorts anymore. Even when you choose it on a mobile or in Premiere Pro before uploading, I'm finding that my short is being displayed with multiple different thumbnails. Yeah, so during the upload process on an Android now, you can select a screenshot. But you know, like that's as far as you go. But the rest of the question says, why is YouTube doing this? I feel like it should be my choice as the creator to decide what thumbnail I want people to see, yet they are choosing different ones to show people, and most of the time they're horrible. Very frustrating in my opinion, and it leads me to wonder if it's causing some shorts to not perform so good. Any thoughts? So keep in mind that when it comes to YouTube Shorts, absolutely, when it comes to the rest of the places on YouTube where you can get views, you know, home pages and all of that, then, you know, with that, absolutely, it could negatively impact you on like home pages and things like that. And in the little short shelf there where people, you know, if you're sitting there and you're on your mobile device and you're scrolling through the home feed, you'll see, you know, like 3 little, you know, shorts there that you can click into. And of course the thumbnail would impact that also. So because of that, D is watching Rambo tonight. You're going through the whole thing. Nice. My brother D in the house. What's up, D? Hope you're doing awesome, man. And he's binge watching Rambo tonight. Good. Yeah, so we know who drew first blood there then, don't we? But basically, one of the things just to remember though, when it comes to YouTube Shorts is that, like most of the traffic on YouTube Shorts happens when people are just sitting there swiping up, right? So because of that, like the thumbnail isn't super critical right now, but every view does count. But keep in mind, YouTube also wants people to click into Shorts and to participate in Shorts. So it's not like they're doing this as a way to, negatively do something at content creators or anything like that. I'm guessing that they're just experimenting. Like, hey, let them figure out what things typically work, what gets people to respond better and all of that. Because one of the beauties with Shorts is that you don't have to make thumbnails, right? So like the barrier to entry is like zero not zero, because you still have to be able to make a video. You just got to be able to talk into your phone just like you're talking to a buddy or something. But, the barrier to entry is extremely low. And as soon as they make it more reduced, start adding custom thumbnails and stuff like that, then it's going to get a lot more competitive. And then that barrier to entry is going to go up just a little bit higher on the content creator side to where it's like, okay, before, like currently, the beauty with Shorts is that you don't have to learn how to make thumbnails. You can just come in, start making content, start making shorts, and start doing the thing, just learning how to make videos, learning how to hook people, learning how to make great content. And then you can use those skills to, like, you can be doing that while you're learning how to make thumbnails, while you're learning about, how to grab people's attention through imagery and stuff like that, so that when you do start publishing that long form content, then you're like ready to go, right? But the great thing about YouTube Shorts though is that the barrier to entry is, almost non-existent, which is fantastic. So let's see here. So next up on the list, we've got Popcorn Genius. Popcorn Genius says, I've read and heard that it's all good practice to have pinned comments for your videos. What are your ideas and thoughts on what these comments should be? Yeah, so when it comes to pinned comments, my recommendation for that and what I do is it's either ask a question that you're trying to get insight on. So like if you're trying to better understand your community, then asking a question there is great, because then the most engaged people, the ones that are going to leave comments, those people are going to give you some feedback, which is great. But if you're not doing that for that particular video, then I always recommend that you link to another video or playlist that would be relevant to the viewers that are watching that particular video. So as an example to this, let's say you are making a video on iPhone apps, right? Then in that particular case, if somebody's watching a video on iPhone apps, then you would think, okay, if somebody's watching a video on iPhone apps, what would they like to watch more of? Probably more iPhone apps. So because of that, I'm going to link to a playlist of iPhone app videos if you have them. And then there it's like, hey, to find or to learn more apps to help you, do all these different things, whatever, then, click into this playlist. And then by doing that, what you're doing is you are giving one more place on the video watch page where people can enter more of your content. And you're making it essentially easy for them to find more of your content that they are already enjoying. So it's a win on the viewer experience side. It's a win on your side, because then you can use that to drive people into, more of your videos. Renee Ritchie in the house. What's up, man? Hope you're doing awesome. Says, the classic thumbnail system, and this is feedback, I think, on the YouTube Shorts question that we had with the thumbnails, because he works at YouTube. He's YouTube's creator liaison. So basically, he's the voice for us to YouTube, and he's also the voice of YouTube, like, back to us also. It's great. He also has a really cool series over on the Creator Insider channel where he's doing like myth busting. So, there's a lot of just crazy myths going around about YouTube, and he just, he's just in there, slaying those. But he says that the classic thumbnail system is for long form and wasn't optimized for shorts. YouTube is building out a new thumbnail system for shorts. You can choose a custom frame now on Android, and iOS is coming next. Yeah, so they're heading in that direction. So, keep in mind, if you are somebody that's watching this right now and you haven't started a YouTube channel yet, right now, the opportunity that you have on YouTube is pretty unprecedented in terms of you're probably not going to get this opportunity again. And what that means is if you don't know how to do a lot of this stuff, then you can start right now making videos in YouTube Shorts just with your phone, just talking to people without having to edit, without having to do anything, crazy, just to like get you in motion, right? To get you in the process of making content while you're like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then you can start seeing a little bit of results there, and then that'll keep you encouraged. And then from there, you can start learning how to do all the other stuff. But if you are somebody that is on the fence for that, get in there now, because, you know, like he just mentioned that they're in the process of working on some thumbnail stuff. And as soon as they do that, then the competition is just going to get leveled up, because then what's going to happen is in the short shelf, you'll still be okay, but pulling traffic in from everywhere else is going to be, you know, a lot more difficult for you. So because of that, if you are somebody that's on the fence, like start now, like go ahead and start making content so you can get yourself in motion, because the longer you wait, one, the more people that are doing what I'm saying and the bigger opportunity that you have for YouTube to modify something to where they're increasing that barrier to entry. So let's see here. So next up on our list here, really quick, we got Golden Solution says, hi from the UK. Keep going. Thanks. Glad that you are enjoying the content. Thank you for the super chat. Super appreciate that. And let's see here. So next up, we're going to pull this one from the forum. And just as a reminder, if you are just joining us, what we are talking about today is all things related to YouTube. So I have a form down in the description where you can put your questions down there for free. And I'm just going through those questions in the order that they come in. So during this stream, I usually go for about 2 to 3 hours, and I try to get through as many of these questions, as I possibly can. Also, just as a quick heads up as well, just as a quick reminder, because I keep forgetting to do this, if you are a TubeSpanner user, make sure you get your notepad open. If you're not familiar with TubeSpanner, it's another toolkit for YouTube. They have like an AI script writing tool that you've seen me making videos about. They have like link in bios tools for content creators where you can embed videos, add subscribe buttons, interlink all your social accounts, things like that. But a bunch of different tools over there as well. So make sure that you check that out also. So let's see here. So question number 3 is Adventures with Time. And with the Adventures with Time, the type of channels, watch reviews, histories, how-tos, and collecting strategies. The goal of the channel is to help collectors and to earn some extra money. And the question is, will I suffer switching from publishing once a week to every 2 weeks? So this is a really good question. And technically, you can publish like one video a month, technically, if it's a really good video, and you can still do awesome. However, the challenge comes from from being able to make videos that are that good. That's why people typically, upload like once a week, or, upload multiple times a week, or, every other week or something like that, so that they can fill in that, gap. So that it's like, hey, I can keep my views climbing and I can keep doing the thing. Plus I'm publishing more so that I can learn faster and I can, practice more and all of that. So when it comes to publishing, you can absolutely publish, twice a month if you would like to. But just keep in mind that the more you publish, as long as you're paying attention and as long as you're being intentional, the faster you're going to learn, the faster you're going to, most likely get results, because you're going to, be practicing the thing that you're trying to get better at. So just keep that in mind. But if you want to publish, every 2 weeks, then by all means, if that's like, hey, I want to do YouTube, this is the only way that I can work it into my lifestyle, then by all means, do that. Right? If that's what you need to do to keep everything moving. So next up on our list here, we've got One Step. Hey, dude, what's going on? Hope you're doing awesome. One Step says they do fighting games. The goal of the channel is to turn my skills and passion into a fun and exciting career. And the question says, my dude, hope you are well. My dude, I am. I hope you are well also. Says, I need some guidance. I'm this close to just quitting my day job and committing to YouTube. I mean, I'm not necessarily full-time yet. However, I'm at the crossroads where weighing that option and thinking, would 40 hours a week extra be more beneficial if I put it into YouTube than working my day job? Like, could I triple my content output with videos, shorts, and streams? The thing holding me back is, as a gamer who does guides, tutorials, top fives, and others, I'm wondering if it'll be better to wait for a new poppin' game before doing so, like doing like a new wave to ride before committing to going full time. Because right now I'm just chilling on the ocean with small waves here and there. So a lot to think about. Any tips, advice? I appreciate you and the team. Take it easy. So when it comes to going full time on YouTube, it's definitely a commitment. It's definitely scary. It's also a thing to where, if you are getting results with the content that you're putting out and you're confident in your ability to, continue, I feel like I'm like knocked off a center. But if you are, if you're confident in your ability to, continue, making content and doing the thing and getting results, then in that particular case, if you are going to go full time, then, you know, there's a risk involved, right? However, that risk, it can be worth it in some cases. And in other cases, you know, people, I'm sure, try it and then they're like, oh my gosh, what have I done, right? So because of that, what I recommend you do is, one, see how things are going right now, right? So if you look at your YouTube channel and you see, you know, how people are responding to your videos and just like your trajectory of growth and your average view counts and how much money you're making from your channel currently, think to yourself, okay, like, where am I at right now? So if my number that I need to hit is X, because you got to figure out, you know, how much you need to survive, and then you got to figure out how much you need to thrive. So it's like, okay, if I have my, if I have my need number, which is this, then already how close am I to that, or am I exceeding that? If you are, then in that particular case, then it gives you that huge cushion to where it's like, okay, then, you know, then I'm, you know, it makes more sense for me to do this. However, I recommend, because of the ups and downs in YouTube, plus you don't know if your camera's going to go down, or if, you know, unfortunately things happen in life to where people get, you know, temporarily ill and things like that. So because of that, also make sure that you do, you know, have, you know, some money saved up, so that in the event that you do need a little bit of burn time, so to speak, to, you know, to get everything moving, so that you do have the backing, so to speak, to do that. Because what you don't want is, you don't want to just be stressed out all the time. Like, oh, if I don't get it by this date, then I'm in a very bad situation. So because of that, I would definitely make sure that you do have some type of cushion in terms of, you know, money that you've saved up, and that you do assess what's going on with the channel right now and how much you're bringing in from the channel right now. And that you do identify exactly how much you need, you know, to survive and what you want to thrive. And then from there, say, this is where I'm at now. What is it that I need to do? Do I need to start doing other types of alternate monetization, or what exactly do I need to do in order to, you know, be able to hit this need number? And then a little bit above, of course, but in order to hit this need number, so that I can be confident that when I do step away from my job and I go full time on YouTube, that I'm at least going to be leveled with, you know, the money I was getting from there versus the money that I get from my YouTube stuff. And then now I've got all that extra time to work on my YouTube channel to start amplifying from there. So, so that's what I would recommend in that case. Let me see here. I got to hit this super chat page, because I think there were some more that came in I need to hit. Okay, yeah, that was okay. We got that. So Science-Based Fitness, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing awesome. Says, hey, Nick, I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers next month, but my watch time is around 2,000. I have a few longer videos in the process, but I don't always want to make longer content if the video suffers. Any advice? Absolutely. So you should only make videos as long as they need to be. So, you know, in some cases, people are like, hey, I need to, you know, flush this out so it's 8 minutes so I can put in, like, you know, mid-roll ads and stuff like that. But even with that, like, it's really better to just make the video as long as it needs to be. So I wouldn't flush it out for the sake of getting people to watch that particular video for longer. Instead, here's what I would do. So when you are making your videos, instead of just putting in everybody here, because I know there's a lot of new content creators here, and I know that, you know, a lot of you are trying to hit the requirements to get into the partner program. So one thing that you want to start thinking about now is, instead of thinking of one video at a time, start thinking of content sets, right? So what's a 3-video series that I could make on science-based fitness? What is a 4 or 5 video series that I could make on science-based fitness? Out of, you know, once somebody's done with that series, what would logically be the next series that they would watch? And then I can start working on that one. And then what you want to do is you want to start putting those together, and then just start interlinking everything so it makes sense for viewers to hop from video to video. So I call this a watch time trap. And one part of that watch time trap, of course, is, you know, making playlists and then driving people into those playlists from your end screens, from your pinned comments, featuring certain playlist on your YouTube channel page for the people that go there, and also using YouTube cards where it's appropriate also. So the whole idea, though, is just taking the one video watch page and adding, you know, adding links to it that will drive people or make it easy for people to find more of your content that they care about. And then if it makes sense that it's all in a series in terms of, well, if they watch this one, it totally makes sense they'd want to watch this one next. If you start thinking that way, then you're going to start having more people that once they get to the end of one video are going to click on the end screen and go watch the other video. And just by doing that, if you can have people doing that a lot and people are really enjoying the content, then what's going to happen is YouTube is going to start showing that originating video more because it's causing people to watch multiple videos. And so because of that, it's really important to make sure that instead of just thinking of one video at a time, that you're thinking, okay, series. I need to do content sets, right? I need to start doing themes so that people can go in and they can, binge watch these things instead of just watching one video at a time. And it's harder, right? That's hard to do. But the idea is you want to start thinking that way so you can start thinking how, you can apply that to your channel and how you can, try to make that easy for your viewers to hop from video to video in a way that makes sense and adds value to them. Annette Portalatin, what's going on? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. Okay, let me jump this down to the bottom. I think that caught me up. It did. Back over to the questions. Okay, next up on our list. We're on number 5 now. So next up on the list here, and we are still live over on Instagram. So for the one person watching over there on Instagram, we are live also over on my main YouTube channel. So I got a link in my bio that will send you to my main YouTube channel. So if you want to come over and hang out with a bunch of other content creators, because currently you're a lone wolf over on Instagram. So if you want to come over and hang out with a whole room full of content creators, then definitely head over to YouTube. So Don's Empty Kitchen is the next question here. They do daily content. The type of channel is low budget recipes. The goal of the channel is to help plan and stretch food bank and low budget meals. And the question is, I seem to have set up my main channel not under my main Google account. I've put a lot into it and I don't want to start from scratch. Streamlabs OBS is not finding my channel. Do you know a way to link this or fix this problem? Absolutely. So one, just use StreamYard. But if you are going to use all the fancy stuff inside of Streamlabs, then in that particular case, just go into your YouTube live settings, and instead of going through the wizard inside of Streamlabs to connect it to your YouTube channel, just go into your YouTube channel and schedule the live there. And then you can get your stream keys and you can just drop those directly into your Streamlabs, and then you'll be able to just go and broadcast out. So that way it's like your stream keys and your RMTP URL thing. Those two things are kind of like a portal that will get people, that will get your live from Streamlabs OBS into YouTube. So that's what you want to do. Let's see here. So next up on our list here, we're on number 6. We've got King CMC TV. What's going on? They do gaming content. How many gamers do we have here? So we've got like 355 people in the room right now. If you are a gamer, just say me. Just so we can see how many gamers we have in here, because we usually have a decent amount. But the goal of the channel is to get monetized. And the question is, hey, Nick, I use TubeBuddy and vidIQ to do my titles, tags, and SEO for my videos. Is there any faster way to set your stream up when you're going live? Which I mean, set everything up as a default so I won't have to stall on my stream for 5 minutes to get my description or my category together. First, okay, so we got a decent amount of gamers showing up. Okay, nice, looking good. So when it comes to your live streams, you schedule them in advance. If you schedule them in advance, then you don't have to rush to do anything. So instead of just going live and then sitting there and having to figure out your description while you're live for that first minute or those first minutes, instead of taking that approach, schedule your live, schedule it at least an hour in advance, and then that will give people notice that you're going to be live streaming. If you don't have an audience yet, then schedule it more in advance so that people will have time to see that notification or to see that it's going to be coming, and then they can opt into to actually show up or to get notified once you do go live. But if you schedule it instead of just going live, then in that case, you can, go in, fill out your description, make sure you set up everything properly in the back end and all of that. So you can make sure that everything that you're doing is solid, and you don't have to rush around that way. Next up on the list here, we've got J-Del Rocks. J-Del Rocks does rock painting. The goal of the channel is sharing, build community, and build an income. And the question is, growth is super slow. Any obvious reasons? So the very first is, of course, looking into, what it is that you're doing, making sure that, you do have some type of proof of concept in terms of looking at all the other rock channels, making sure that there's other rock painting channels out there that are also thriving. Once you figure that out and once you find that there are, those types of channels out there, then that's going to show you that what it is that you're doing, it is possible for you to grow a channel based on that. And then from there, what you have to do is you have to start thinking of how, of course, you can compel people to watch your content. So when it comes to, painting rocks, I'm going to guess everything you're doing is most likely going to come down to the art that they're seeing on the rock itself. So I would make sure that you are highlighting that in your thumbnail and make sure that you're taking a really good picture of it, make sure that the colors look right, make sure that everything's nice and clear, that the image is balanced so that you can, show people that that's what it is that you're going to be doing. Technically, you can even do a split screen thumbnail where it's like a before and after, assuming this is long form content. I need to add that to my form. But anyway, by doing that, what you are going to do is, one, qualify that the content that you're making, does get views. And then once you see that it does, then you have to start looking at yourself, which is why you want to make sure that you are making sure that the thumbnails that you're making for somebody that's into rock painting or that would find that interesting, what about it? Make sure you define this, and everybody here should do this with every video. What about that thumbnail would stop them in their tracks and make them, pay attention to it? In your case specifically, it would be really good artwork. And then from there, what about that would compel them to actually want to click in and watch it, which would come from your title in terms of giving them context of what it is that they're actually going to watch. So if it's a time, like a speed painting, then in that case, they would see that. If you're teaching them how to do that, then it would be that, that's the idea. And then from there, make sure that you are paying attention to how people respond to your video content. If you really want to thrive on YouTube in a nutshell, the things you got to make sure you're focusing on is, if you're doing long form content, is grabbing their attention, right, through the thumbnail and title, because it's the only context that people have to what it is that they're going to watch. So you have to get good at that. It's not optional. You have to get good at that if you're making long form content. And then from there, it's learning through your audience retention reports and your analytics, learning how to make good content that people respond to in a positive way. If you can do both of those things, you'll do awesome. Of course, there's a lot of nuance and complexity into that, but if you can learn those two things, learn how to get people to, identify and click on your content from the outside, learn how to give them a great experience on the inside, you'll do awesome. But again, it comes down to first making sure that there are other channels doing that. And then from there, once you prove that those videos can do well on YouTube, then trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do here that will maybe make these rock paintings a little bit more broad audience? So for example, one option that you would have, Jackie Bye, thank you for the super sticker. Super appreciate it. But one thing that you would want to do is you would want to say, okay, what types of rock paintings could I do? If the goal is to grow the channel, then in that case, it's like, hey, if I'm doing rock paintings anyway, then maybe I could do some rock paintings of maybe like some celebrities, or maybe I can do some rock paintings of, some very popular places or something like that. So then when somebody sees them on their homepage, it's not just a rock painting, it's a rock painting of something that they're already familiar with that could possibly pull them in just based on their interest in that thing too. So I would just start exploring those types of ideas so that you can make sure that, that you're doing the thing that will, garner the attention. Silver Seeker says, I just want to thank you for your channel. It's helped me improve immensely over the years. Thank you. Silver Seeker, thank you for, coming into the live stream. Thank you for the kind words. I'm super happy that you have, that you've gotten value out of the content. And I'm glad that you are enjoying the content. So thank you for the kind words and thank you for watching. So let's see here. Ariana Chica, what's going on? Hope you're doing awesome. Daniel Batal in the house. Looks like we got a rock star in here, everybody. What's up, Brian? Hope that you're doing great. It looks like we got a rock star in the chat today. Neil, Urban Van Life, what's up, dude? Neil dropped a super chat there too. Thanks for that, man. Says, hey Nick, I DJ one night a week. Now I've managed to drop to 4 nights. So close to full time, but the grind is hard, but the outcome is worth it. I owe all I've learned to you, and so thank you so much. You've made a change to mine and lots of people's lives. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And I love seeing you, heading in that direction that you're going. Like once you get to that time where you're like, okay, I was able to stop DJing. Now I'm like all in on, on vans, your van life stuff and, building vans for others. That's going to be a super awesome message. But yeah, man, congratulations to you for being able to do that and for making that transition and putting in all the work required to do it. That's one thing when it comes to YouTube that, it's really important to understand. And it's the part that, some people don't like to hear. And it's like, anybody can upload a video to YouTube and some people can get lucky and have some successful videos. However, long-term sustainability on YouTube, it requires work and it requires a lot of it. And some people are willing to do that. Other people aren't. And it becomes really apparent, in a relatively short amount of time when somebody starts a YouTube channel, like where they're at and what they're, willing to do or not. But it's awesome when you see people that are doing the work, like Neil over at Urban Van Life, people that are doing the work and they're, getting that results and they're heading in that direction that they set out to head, and they're accomplishing that stuff that they set out to accomplish. It's awesome. Absolutely love it. So let's see here. So next up on our list here, we got Happy Wheels. Happy Wheels uploads one time per week or more. They do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to entertain people. And the question is live commentary gameplay still worth making on YouTube, or should everything be made in the style of a story nowadays? Absolutely, live commentary gameplay is still worth making on YouTube. Story is fantastic. Story is something that people will connect to and that will pull them through content, but so is hanging out. Right? So is hanging out and enjoying something over a common ground, like playing a fun game. So in your particular case, you're doing live commentary gameplay. It's absolutely still worth making on YouTube, especially if it's something that you enjoy doing. And keep in mind that it's really easy as a content creator to get distracted by, all of the different ways that people do things. But in reality, like if you enjoy playing the game and you're connecting with other people that enjoy playing the game, and the way that you express that is through your commentary, then in that particular case, have that content. And then if you want to experiment with some of the other things, then, you have a whole YouTube channel that you can experiment with that on. And then you can always keep coming back to your live commentary gameplay. So, if you are like, hey, I would like to try some of this other stuff, like some of these other methods of making content, then, go for it. Or if you're like, hey, I just want to do live commentary. That's why I'm on YouTube. I want to do live commentary with these gameplays and I want to connect with other people that are into this game. That's all I want. If that's what you want to do, then do exactly that. And it's perfectly fine, right? It's perfectly okay. Just get really good at doing that, right? So doing that, but then kind of like, sort of doing it is one thing. But like, if that's the lane that you're going to be in, like try to get as good as you possibly can in that lane. And another thing too, on that note, if you notice everybody's transitioning into like one thing, you doing that thing that you signed up to do will be one of those things that will help you start standing out. Because even though right now, a lot of people went from doing live commentary to now they're going into, these other things. As people start, enjoying those other things and then they find you, then in that case, it's going to be like, hey, this is something kind of different, right? So because of that, absolutely do your thing. So next up here, we've got Creaky Blinder. What's up, man? Says they do commentary reaction channel. The goal of the channel is entertainment and education. The question is, I'm working on reaching 100,000 subscribers this year, but I was doing the same last year. Where am I going wrong? So for this, of course, I would need to actually look at your YouTube channel. But what I can recommend that you do is on your type of content specifically, because you're like debunking, all these conspiracies and stuff. So one of the things that you can do in your particular case, man, is you can go in and you can start grouping your content together. Like I was mentioning to Triathlon John earlier, you can go in and you can start grouping your content together based on like the different types of things that you talk about. And you can start whittling down over time and whittling that information down over time and getting a really good understanding of like the specific types of debunking that people like and the specific topics that people commonly like and those sorts of things. And then just lean into those, right? For your particular type of content, because, you're doing great in terms of the, average average views that you get, stuff like that, you're doing awesome. So in terms of, trying to get that play button, one thing that you might want to do specifically, if you're not doing that already, is start asking people to subscribe and start doing it in an obvious way in terms of like, if you don't do this already, in terms of, hey, by the way, if you're new here, I do this. So subscribe, so that you can get more of that, right? So try that and see if that starts increasing your ratio. So next up, we've got Her Heel Review. Her Heel Review says they upload 1 time per week or more. They do movie, ABD, TV show reviews, movie and TV show reviews. The goal of the channel is to become a professional film critic and to create a community of movie watchers, ideally with 1,000 committed subscribers. Question, I've joined Facebook groups and Reddit, but I still struggle to find committed subscribers. What would you recommend to build community, or should I give up? Okay, I'm really glad that you brought this up today. And this is what you want to make sure that you're thinking about. So anybody here that is joining Facebook groups and subreddits and you're trying to get subscribers from those Facebook groups and subreddits, you are doing the whole thing incorrectly. So when you are joining Facebook groups and you're joining Reddits and you are in there and you're like, hey, subscribe to me and, I'll subscribe to you and like those types of things, then what will happen is you just get a subscriber base of people that don't care about your content. They just subscribed in hopes that you'll subscribe to them. So because of that, you want to make sure that you are leaning on YouTube to do most of the heavy lifting for you. But if the type of content that you make would make sense to share in some of those places, as long as they do allow people to share in those places, then in that case, it makes sense. So for example, if you're in like a movie subreddit and they allow people to share YouTube videos in there, and anytime you share a video in there, it's well received and people enjoy it, then in that case, it's fine, because that, you're not going in there asking people for subscribers. You are finding the people that are interested in your type of content and you're meeting them where they're at and introducing your content to them there without even asking them to do anything. So that's okay. But if you're over on Reddit and you're like, hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you're on Facebook, hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you're doing it literally the opposite way that you should be doing it. So you're, like if there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it, you are all the way over on this side, okay? So what you need to start thinking about is you need to start thinking of how you can make the content that you're trying to make in a way that people will respond to it well enough on YouTube that YouTube will recommend it to other people. So here's the thing. When it comes to YouTube, and this is really important, like if you're just getting started on YouTube, it's really important to understand this aspect of it. So when you make content that people will respond to at a competitive rate for YouTube, in some cases that could mean, that you're getting hundreds of thousands of views. In other cases, it can mean you're getting tens of thousands of views, or in other cases, millions of views. But when you start making content to where you're crossing that threshold to where it's like, now it's competitive for the platform, YouTube understands who the content for, they're showing it to the right people, those people are responding to it over and over and over again and all of that, then what happens is YouTube will start finding more people on the platform that also enjoy content like yours, and it'll recommend it to them. So because of that, like there's all of these things that you can do with your YouTube channel to get distracted. There's all these things that you can do to just waste your time when it comes to trying to grow your YouTube channel. But the best place to spend your time in order to get real results from what it is that you're doing, so that you can have this as a sustainable thing that you're going to do for a long period of time, and you'll be able to get, good results from it for a long period of time. The best thing you can do is work on developing your skill sets in terms of learning how to write titles that people click on, learning how to make thumbnails that people, respond to because they grab their attention and help them identify that your content's something that they care about, and learning how to make the video content in a way that people respond to it in a way that is competitive for YouTube. If you can do those things, then YouTube will do the heavy lifting for you, and you're not going to have to go to Reddit and share your content. You're not going to have to go to Facebook and share your content. You can if you want to, but you're not going to have to, right? So because of that, I really recommend that you focus all of your effort. Just stop going to Facebook and trying to find subscribers there. Stop going to Reddit trying to find subscribers there. Focus all of your efforts right now over the next 90 days or the next 6 months, or for as long as you need to. Focus all of your efforts on learning how to get people to respond to your content when it shows up on their homepage, or learning how to get people to respond to your content when it shows up in YouTube search. Those two things, right? And by respond, I mean click it, watch it, enjoy it, right? So learning how to do those two things, there's a lot of nuance, like I mentioned before, and it can be hard. But if you learn those things and you focus all of your energy when you're trying to, to learn and you're trying to, get results on YouTube, if you focus on those things, you'll do awesome long term. But when you start going onto like Facebook groups and you start going into like subreddits and you're trying to like, okay, if I share this, if I'm in this like new YouTubers group and I share this like review, then in that case, I might get, some subscribers. So because of that, I'm going to go and review some other channels and give my feedback on those. And then I'm going to, make a review thing for mine, a review post for mine. And then hopefully some of the people that watch that come in for that review are going to end up subscribing on a YouTube channel. Like if you're doing that type of thing, you're wasting so much time that you could instead spend watching videos on framing, videos on lighting, videos on storytelling, videos on audio processing, videos on copywriting because you're writing titles, videos on sales tactics, videos on filmmaking tactics, those types of things. So instead of spending your time in those other time wasting scenarios, spend them developing yourself and developing your skills to help you make better content. If you can do that, then you're going to do awesome on YouTube long term. But if it's just like, hey, I'm just trying to get, some subscribers, whatever it takes, I'm sharing over here, and I'm asking people to subscribe everywhere. If you're doing that, then it's a huge waste of time. So really quick, gaming mom.
Welcome to the Niminati.
Welcome to the Niminati. Make sure when you get the chance, you go to niminvip.com. So what's going to happen when you do that is that's going to redirect you to a system that we just started using. And with that particular system, all you have to do is just, set up your account. And then through that, once you're inside, you're going to have some immediate downloads that you can, download right away. You're going to have a direct link that will send you to our members only Facebook group, all of that. So make sure that you go there, fill that out. And also make sure, because there's an option in there to unlock some of the stuff where you have to put your email address, make sure that you put that in there as well, because for the people that are not going to join the Facebook group or that are not in the Facebook group because they just don't, for privacy, or they're just not on Facebook or whatever, then that's going to also make it possible for me to notify you of like live streams and things like that, so that you can still come in and join those live streams, because we don't actually stream into Facebook anymore. We use other systems to stream, but I post the message in Facebook. So for anybody that, is wanting to, keep it all private, if you're a channel member, then make sure that you also go to niminvip.com and that you go set your account up there also, so that you can get those notifications when we're doing those also. So Joni or Jonai, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I apologize if not. Says, hey, I hit 10,000 doing Apex Legends guides, but recently found passion creating games in Unreal engines. Is it too late to pivot my channel to game development content? Should I start a new channel? I don't think so. Like if you are like, hey, I'm not going to do Apex Legends content anymore, and I'm now going to pivot into this other direction, then in that particular case, I would just start, going in that direction. And the reason that I wouldn't is because you have people that are like somewhat, a little bit of a crossover. So ideally, you would start a new channel so that everybody that's interacting with the channel and the content would be a perfect fit for that content. But you can pivot it. So what I would do is I would start publishing content. As long as you're not going to do Apex Legends content anymore or other gaming content on that channel, then I would just start just publishing the new content and start heading in that direction. But once you start having some videos taken off there and you have enough content where people can come in and binge watch a little bit in the new direction, then in that case, as long as you're not going to do gaming content on that channel again, then I would start unlisting some of those other videos so that it doesn't, keep bringing in that wrong audience for you. But if you did want to start from scratch, it would make everything clean in terms of, the data that you would have on the channel, in terms of who YouTube, is going to recommend the content to. But right now, the reason that I'm saying that you should just go ahead and pivot is because there would be, some crossover to where some of those, gamers, or some likely crossover, I'll say, we can't be certain. But some of those 10,000 gamers that, enjoyed your Apex Legends content, some of them might also be into game development. So because of that, when YouTube starts recommending some of your game development content to them, then you're going to be able to quickly see, if they're going to respond to that or not. Let's see here. So as we keep going, so our next question, this is coming from the forum. And by the way, if you're just joining us, we are talking about everything related to YouTube. So I've got a forum down in the description where everybody's putting their questions, and I'm just going through and answering them in the order that they are received. So of course you see super chats up at the top of the chat. So that's not required, but super chats, of course, go to the front of the line just because, you know, I'd be a jerk if I didn't do that. But when it comes to the forum, it's 100% free. So you don't have to, you know, pay anything to, you know, get your question asked. So, you know, feel free to put your question in the form. And just as a heads up also, like if your question is in the form, if, you know, by the time this stream is finished, because we're still going for like a couple more hours. So by the time this stream is finished, if I don't have your question answered, just keep in mind, like I still do read every question that's in there. And I also use this for additional content that I'm creating. So because of that, your question might pop up like, you know, somewhere else. Let's see here, but this next one is from Skulls Records. Roger Wakefield. Roger Wakefield, thank you for the super chat, man. Super appreciated it. Super appreciate it. Says, thank you for everything that you teach. My pleasure, man. Thank you for taking the information and run with it and doing the work and actually, you know, doing the thing. Cause you know, you're heading in one direction, you pivoted and, you know, and you started taking off. So congratulations. So with Roger, for those of you that are just joining us, he just crossed 500,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. I mentioned this at the start of the stream today, but he just crossed 500,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. So everybody, if you could just give a clap for Roger, because that's a huge milestone. Like if you're somebody that's just starting out on YouTube, you may or may not know yet the amount of like work and thought and energy and time that goes into hitting a milestone like that. So, you know, just a high five and fist bump to Roger for, you know, going through that process and continuing to do it and supporting and encouraging other content creators in the process. Just absolutely awesome. Like it couldn't happen to a better person. Love seeing you thrive. Absolutely love it. So Lisa Dawson.
Welcome to the Niminati.
Welcome to the Niminati. Same with you. Go to niminvip.com. Make sure you connect everything over there. Once you do, then you'll get access to the perks of being a member. There's some like downloads in there. And then you'll also get the direct link to the members only Facebook group over there as well. Tony Rome says, hey, Nick, YouTube analytics went in 0 1 week. Subscribers, watch time, views, everything. What happened? So from time to time, YouTube will have reporting bugs. It's just normal. So it just happens from time to time. So in things like that, you can quickly know that those things are happening if you follow me on Twitter, if you follow my brother D on Twitter, you follow Renee Ritchie, who's in the chat right now, follow him on Twitter. If you follow Team YouTube on Twitter, and if you follow YouTube creators on YouTube, or I'm sorry, on Twitter, then when those types of things happen, you usually will know it, you know, relatively quick. Or you can at least hit those accounts and check to see if anything weird's going on when you notice those types of things. But bugs like that happen, you know, on a somewhat regular basis on YouTube. So just when you see something like that, don't freak out about it. But just, you know, note it. And then if you see that nobody else is reporting it, then in that case, you know, sending a tweet to @TeamYouTube is definitely something you'd want to do so you can put it on their radar if it is a bug. Let's see here. So 411 now says, Nick, I have a silly question. No question silly, right? We all know different things. We all like no question silly. The silly thing is to not ask a question, right? Like if you need to know something, the silly thing is like, is just being like, okay, well, I'm just not even going to ask anybody, right? That's the silly thing. So no silly questions at all. So, says I have a silly question. Well, seems silly to me. Is it worth adding chapters to long form videos? The videos I've added to them have shorter retentions. So that's really common when it comes to the retention, when it comes to shorts. But one thing to kind of balance out there is like viewer satisfaction, you know, against retention. So, one thing to remember is not all content is appropriate for chapters. So for example, if you're telling a story, then in that case, if people need to know the, you know, beginning part of the story in order for the middle to make sense, or they need to know the middle in order for the end to make sense, then it doesn't make any sense to add chapters to your video, right? But if you're doing like, hey, here's 10 different things that are XYZ, then in that case, saying this is number 1, number 2, number 3, that makes more sense, right? As long as you're not stringing them together through a story that you're telling. So, you know, chapters aren't always appropriate for everyone, but if, you know, content dependent, then, you know, of course they can be helpful for your viewers and help them find what it is that they need out of the content. Let's see here. Thank you all so much. What Nino and Daniel Patel and so many others teach really does work. Okay, so really quick, Roger says, thank you all so much. What Nick D and Daniel Battelle and so many others teach really does work if you use it. Yeah, you know, like the thing is like, you know, when it comes to all this stuff, it just really comes down to like figuring out who you're making content for and just making awesome content for them. And then learning how to get them to respond, right? Learning how to get them to see it from the outside that that's the content. Like, you know, you can figure those things out and dial those things in, then, you know, you get to get all the fun stuff that comes with being a content creator. Synergy Effect says, is it beneficial in any way to delete and re-upload the same short to get it into the short shelf if it doesn't get views within the first hour? So some people do that as an attempt. YouTube actually recommends against it. And if they detect that you're doing that on a regular basis, to my understanding, they can actually penalize you for it or give you a community guideline strike for it. So because of that, just be really careful if you are going to take that approach. And because there is a risk involved, you know, to be safe, I'm going to say don't do that. But I have seen, you know, reports of other people doing that, and you know, and you know, they do get, you know, better results in some cases, but not all cases. So, you know, you're going to have to decide if that risk is worth it. But I'm a big fan of just playing by the rules and, you know, doing the thing. So because of that, I recommend that you don't try to do that. Is my recommendation there. So really quick, Renee says that Renee Ritchie says that chapters let viewers jump around, but they can also prevent viewers from clicking out. Rather than just worrying about chapters, though, it's probably better to focus on an amazing viewer experience. Definitely. And he also says really quick that repeated uploads can be detected as abuse. Also, some shorts can take off fast, others take off later, so patience can also work. Absolutely. So next up, we've got Scold's Records. So Scold's Records probably like, man, you said that you're going to, like, you started saying mine, like, you know, a long time ago. And then we, you know, kind of went down this road over here. But they do bi-weekly content. The type of content is gaming, guides, and tutorials, tip, tricks, and gotcha specifically. The goal of the channel is to eventually make money doing what I love. And the question is, how would you go about making a concrete plan to prevent burnout? I've had a couple of week breaks on this channel and others because I hyper-focus into making videos and research to the point of pulling all-nighters. Even though I really enjoy it, I burned out without realizing it. Any tips would be immensely appreciated. So I've been through burnout as well, and it sucks. But, you know, one thing to think about when it comes to that is it's just because you're not pacing yourself. So, you know, have like hard cutoff times and things like that. I mean, depending on where you're at and depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you know, some things do just require sacrifice in terms of, you know, like some nights you just got to stay up late in order to get the thing done, right? It's just, you know, sometimes that's the case. But if you're not in that moment right now, or you don't have those very clear things that you're trying to do, then in that case, make sure you're giving yourself very hard limits. Like, for example, in my case, I have like a hard stop that I do at midnight here locally because I work at night. So I have this hard stop that I do at midnight. And the reason that I have that is because I also tend to just like, if I don't stop myself, because I like doing this stuff. So if I don't stop myself, I'll just keep doing it until like 5 or 6 in the morning, sometimes even longer than that. Like when I was in like the like really like hyper growth phase of my channel, and I was like, you know, really like doing everything I could possibly do. At that time, there were some days or some nights, I should say, to where I would stay up until like almost noon the next day, just like, you know, just working on stuff and getting stuff. So it'd be like, you know, wake up, work on stuff, and then just keep going, you know, until you just get drained, and then wake up and do it again. So in some cases, you know, always take care of your health, always take care of your mental health, because without all of that, then things can start falling apart. So you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself because you want to enjoy this process. But in some cases, sometimes, you know, it will require that, you know, you work late or whatever, depending on what else you have going on in your life. If you're full-time, then in that case, you know, you shouldn't really need to do that. You should be able to, you know, manage things a little bit better. But if you are in that place where you're like, hey, I got a job, I got a YouTube channel, I got a family, like I got school, like I'm trying to do all these things, then in that case, in some cases, you know, you might have to push it a little long, you know, a little bit more than you should. But when it comes to, keeping all that under control, though, just give yourself hard limits and stick to them, right? So it's like I start at this time and I stop at this time. And no matter what I start at this time, no matter what I stop at this time. And when you do that, then you're going to ensure that you're at least doing something every day to move you forward. And you're also that's where the start time comes in. And then you're also going to ensure that you are, keeping your mental and physical health, under control. And hey, really quick, one thing that I do want to, just remind everybody of, because I know some people, you're here every weekend. Other people, this might be your first time here. So I do want to let you know that my YouTube channel, I teach people about YouTube, but in addition to that, my brother and I, we created a free music resource for YouTube content creators. So if you need music for your videos, you can get it for free at creatormix.com. It's zero fee, like 100% free, zero fee. And you can use it without worries of like copyright stuff and all that. But you can go at creatormix.com and get that. Or if you just want to listen to some great music or just sample what we have available, then you can go to Spotify and you can look for Creator Mix on Spotify, Apple Music, and all the other streaming platforms. And you can also listen to it there. You can live stream it from there, whatever. But definitely make sure that you check that out, when you get the chance. Again, it's a free resource for you as a content creator. Learn Spanish World says, is there any way that we can save or download our YouTube shorts in order to post them to other platforms? Is it allowed? Thank you for your tips. I now have 91,000 subscribers. High five and fist bump. I can't wait for you to come in and say that you got 100,000. Love it. Love when people are creeping on that last, that last stretch there. Absolutely love it. So you can, if you go into your creator studio, I know that you do have a download option there, but keep in mind it comes with a watermark. So what I recommend that you do is instead of uploading and creating inside of the short shelf, make sure that you upload or that you make the raw short, make it on its own. And then once you make the raw short, then any text or anything like that maybe you feel that you are going to add inside of the platforms, add that in the platforms, but have the actual raw video that you can upload, independently to all the different platforms, and do that in the creation process. And then by doing that, it makes it to where you're going to be able to do everything. Because when you are downloading, like let's say you uploaded to TikTok first and then you download that, it's going to have a watermark on it. And then when you upload it to YouTube, that can cause them to suppress it. Same exact thing in the other direction. So if you download one of your shorts from YouTube, it's going to have a watermark, and then you upload that to TikTok or Instagram Reels, then they'll suppress it. So because of that, you want to make sure that you have your original, high quality file that you put together for your short that you put together. And then you want to have that you put up into each individual platform. Let's see here. Angelina Carlos, thank you for the super chat there. Super appreciate it. So next up, we've got, and one more thing too on the burnout. One more thing that I do want to mention also, because, this is something that content creators deal with, especially when they have a tendency to kind of, go for it. When it comes to burnout, also just for everybody, make sure that you are kind of monitoring what's going on in your brain, when you are doing your content, because sometimes you can be, going so much and focus so hard on doing the thing that you might not notice when you're getting like a little bit kind of numb over here, a little bit dull over here, so because of that, just make sure that you are trying to be a little bit mindful, also with, with yourself, so that you can make sure that you are taking care of yourself through this process, because, achieving the thing that you want to achieve at the expense of your well-being makes that thing not awesome. But when you can, achieve that thing and then you can keep your well-being and all that stuff intact, then in that case, it's going to be just an amazing experience for you. Because this whole YouTube thing, it's incredible, absolutely incredible in terms of, what can come from it, and just all of it. It's just great. Okay, so next up we got kids learning and growing. And if you're just joining the stream, we're talking about YouTube, all things related to YouTube. I've got a form down in the description where people are putting their questions in, and I'm answering them in the order that they are coming in. So the type of channel here is kids learning and preschool activities. The goal of the channel is a fun hobby with the hope of making money. And the question is, I was expecting slow growth, but after just a few days, my stats exploded. I was getting 75 new subs a day, thousands of daily views, etc. Then it all stopped. down to 1 new sub, maybe every other day, and maybe a couple hundred views. Is this normal? Is this part of the process? Also, kids channels do not allow end cards and comments. How do I get feedback from the community if I can't read comments? So the way that you're going to get feedback is you're going to get feedback through your analytics. That's the only thing that you're going to have available there. So that's what you got. And your analytics, you're just going to have to get good at reading those to get a good idea of, how people are responding to what it is that you're doing. But you'll also see that just reflected in your view counts. But in terms of videos doing well and then kind of falling off over time, that does happen. Basically, if you publish a YouTube video, this is also something really important for, new people to understand. If you publish a video to YouTube and it's doing like great right now, it's doing great against the other content that it's competing with in terms of the other content that YouTube thinks is a good fit for your audience. Now, let's say that your video is doing awesome, all your metrics are high, people are really enjoying your content, but then you've got the next day, a bunch of people publish, with all these different niches of content that your audience is still interested in. A bunch of different people publish content, and because it's like fresh or it's just really good content from a nice handful of them, then what can happen is it can actually cause your video to perform a little bit worse because the other content that came onto the platform that is performing a little bit better within that group of content that YouTube is recommending to your audience. So keep that in mind as well when it comes to videos just kind of, falling off, or to where it's like, hey, this is going all right, and then everything just kind of, fades away, so to speak. Another part of this is when it comes to YouTube, when you first publish your videos, the first people that see it are the people that YouTube think is the most ideal fit for that content, the people most likely to enjoy that content. And then from there, it starts going out to a wider group of people based on how those people respond. And then based on how that wider group responds, it goes out to an even wider group and so on. And as long as people keep responding, at a high rate or competitive rate, then in that case, you'll keep, kind of expanding there. But then if those groups start responding not that awesome, or they just don't respond well, once it goes out to these, wider groups of people, then what happens is YouTube will then lower. I'm not going to say it that way because I don't want to paint the wrong picture there. So what's going to happen then is YouTube will prioritize the content that is performing better over yours. Okay. So that's the thing that you need to always remember when it comes to YouTube. So like, that's why you'll have like videos where it's like, hey, it started doing great on like the first, day. Well, it's because that's, the people that YouTube think is like an ideal fit for that video. And then it's like, hey, the next day, everything's kind of dropping off here. What's going on? It's because once it got into that wider group of people, they're just not responding as well. And then, that can happen as it keeps going. But when you can make it to where it's to where like broader and broader groups of people respond well to it, then that's where you can really hit the promised land, so to speak, when it comes to making video content and getting the results from it. 10 kids in a garage. Thank you for the super chat. It says, thanks for all your great advice. Thank you for watching. Glad that you are enjoying the content and finding it helpful. So next up here on our list, the Hitman, thank you for your for the kind words there on the setup. Super appreciate it. So the next one on the list, and I'm got to make sure I didn't skip somebody here. Kids learning growing. Okay, I didn't. Okay, so we're on the next question. So this one is from Soul Poetry Healing. Soul Poetry Healing says that they upload when they have time. It's poetry content. The goal is to promote men's mental health with my poetry. And the question is, I read my poetry on YouTube and I'm wondering how I can get views on my poetry videos. So how you are going to get views on your poetry videos is going to come down to your ability to package up your poetry videos in a way that would be interesting for somebody if they were to see it on the homepage, to where they would want to click on it and come in and see what it is that you made. So that's how you're going to get views on it. So if you just package it up and you name it the name of your your actual poetry or something like that, then in that particular case, it's going to be harder to get views on it because people aren't going to have any like real context to what's going on. But if you theme it to where it's based around, certain problems people are having, so they can at least identify that, and then you come up with a way that people can identify it from the outside in terms of like, hey, this is something that's compelling. Maybe you don't even mention that it's poetry, right? Just think of how you can present that content in a way that wouldn't be misleading, but would make it to where somebody would be interested on clicking on that content. And then from there, once they're in the content, then they'll figure out that it's poetry. And then you're gonna have to fine tune that over time, because the expectation that people have when they click on a video is going to impact the audience retention itself. So because of that, you have to make sure that you're not going too over the top and that you're not, misleading people to click. So you have to make sure that you do keep a really close eye on the videos that people do click on a lot more, and make sure that that is also being reflected positively in the audience retention, because that will show you that you're meeting the expectations that people have when they're clicking on that content. Rhonda's Lovely Sparks Audio ASMR says, first time here. Hey, welcome to the stream. I hope that you enjoy yourself, and I hope that you learned something helpful. So How to Automotive says, what do you use to collect payments from sponsorships? It depends on the sponsor. It depends on, how the integration works out. So in some cases, it'll just be direct bank wires. In other cases, it'll be going to like, PayPal or something like that. So it just really comes down to, the agreement, what's good for the brand, what's good for me. If it's large amounts, which, these days, not to brag, but, so because of that, like bank wires is usually a better approach, because, PayPal will eat you up in fees. However, in some cases, the sponsors it'll just be more convenient for them to do it through fees. But other things that can happen as well is some sponsors, and of course, this is going to be super dependent on, I'm saying super a lot today. This is going to be dependent on the companies that you work with. But in my space, and in the space of, like people that make any types of videos around like filmmaking, things like that, there's also like an affiliate platform called Impact Radius. And that particular affiliate platform, companies also use that as a way to do payouts for sponsorships also. So, it's really going to come down to you and the company, but most people will be perfectly fine doing direct wires to your bank. Let's see here. So next up, we've got Desert Micro says, hey, Nick, grateful to you. In a saturated market, how could a filmmaker, chef, and a musician turned farmer niche down on a direction for my new channel? Think of what is the most important to you. If the new channel is about farming, then in that case, making sure that, all of your content there has something to do with farming would be the approach. Of course, when it comes to you being a filmmaker, you're going to be able to leverage that to put together like really awesome, farming videos. On the chef side, then if you want to incorporate that interest into your farming content, then take the food out of your garden, show they're all off of your farm, and build the content around, not that I'm a chef making the food, but I'm a farmer, and this is some of all the different dishes that I can make with these limited things that I grow on my farm, right? And when it comes to you being a musician, not sure how to work that one in outside of making your own music, and maybe outside of that, maybe, when you're walking around doing something on the farm, maybe you're playing your guitar or something. I'm not really sure on that one. Yeah, so that one you probably have to spend some time on. But for the other ones, just working them into your content is something that you could do. But the idea that I'm trying to express, or the way that you want to approach this, is if you're making farming content, then whichever, way that you're actually coming at the farming content, the audience that will appreciate that content, you just need to make sure that everything that you're publishing is filtered through the question of, is this a good fit for the people that are interested in fill in the blank? If the answer is yes, then go ahead and publish it, even if it's not teaching people about farming, but it's showing people all the different food and all the different recipes that you can make through the stuff that you're growing on your farm, right? So just filter it through, is this a good fit for that audience? Yes or no? If it's not, is there a way that I can make it a good fit? And you think about this before you make the content so you can do it, the right way. But if it's not a perfect fit for them, is there a way that I could make it a perfect fit for them through how I'm actually framing the video and how I'm actually putting the content together? So for example, for this, the one that I like to give, and I actually just started doing this, I've done it in like old content too, just like little cut-ins and stuff, but on my channel, because I target YouTube content creators, people that are trying to figure this out and really thrive on YouTube. So because of that, on my channel, I could do skits if I wanted to, but if I was doing skits, I would make those skits something that would resonate with a content creator, right? So it wouldn't be a skit about like pop culture. It wouldn't be a skit about politics, or it wouldn't be a skit about things that, you know, might be a little bit outside of being a content creator. If I was making skits for my channel, then it would be about things that a YouTube content creator could appreciate or that they would enjoy, so that it would still be a good fit for you, right? That's the idea. So you would just need to run your stuff through that same filter. Hopefully that helps. So next up on the list, we've got, and this one's coming from the forum. This is from Boy He's Fishing. And they do weekly content. It's fishing content. The goal is to grow their audience and get into the YouTube Partner Program. And the question is, yeah, like Ryan George style skits, right? So I did like a corny one, like just a really basic, quickly thrown together one as a short, just of me talking to myself. But it's not like a full Ryan George thing yet. Like I'll get there, but you know, that's the thing that I have to learn too. Just like everybody else is here, you know, like I got to learn how to do some of this stuff too, right? And do them in a way that where it's like, okay, yeah, you know, that's good enough to actually put out onto YouTube. But the goal of the channel is to grow my audience and getting into the YouTube Partner Program. And the question is, hey Nick, thanks for the great advice. I uploaded a video about 2 weeks ago. All the metrics on the video are good. The audience retention is the best of all my videos. Congratulations. High click-through rate and a good thumbnail, but it's not doing as good. Any advice? Absolutely. So keep in mind that when it comes to YouTube, when you have high numbers on your videos, you have to make sure that you are factoring in the amount of impressions that you're getting for those high numbers. So when you don't have a lot of impressions on your videos, it's really easy to keep the metrics high. When you do get a lot of impressions and a lot of views on your videos, then it pushes the metrics down, because you have a lot of people that the content that the content's getting shown to that are not that perfect ideal fit for the content. So that's why you'll see videos on YouTube that have, you know, multi-millions of views on them, but they might have like a, you know, 1.5 or a 2% or 3% click-through rate on them. And you might look at that and be like, oh, it's horrible. But in reality, for that type of, you know, audience with all the impressions that it took to get to, you know, millions of views, that's actually, you know, pretty good. So, you know, you have to make sure that you are keeping in context in the impressions that you're getting. So for those of you that are new, what an impression is when YouTube shows your content to somebody somewhere on the platform. So when you are having YouTube show your content to just like a handful of people, right? Because you just published a video, YouTube maybe doesn't have tons of data on your channel yet, or your videos just haven't went out to broad audiences yet based on performance. So you publish that video, then YouTube's still showing it to those people that the system thinks would be a great fit for it, and that can cause the, you know, numbers to be inflated. That's why on most channels, when you first publish a video, that's where you get the best metrics, like right out of the gate, because YouTube, you know, is showing it to those people that are the most ideal for that video. But then as it starts, you know, going out to more and more people, that's when the numbers become a lot more difficult to maintain. But one thing I can tell you though, is that you're getting a better audience retention, you're getting a better click-through rate, everything's heading in that right direction, and you're paying attention. Like you've noticed that these things are happening. So the fact that you're paying attention and the fact that you're making those improvements, you're heading in the right direction, keep going. But just keep in mind, you know, when the videos don't do as good, even though you do see those numbers, it comes down to that. Plus, there's also the other videos that you're competing with, which I just talked about a few minutes ago. But the idea is, like, when you publish a video on YouTube, even if the metrics are high in some cases, they still got to be better than, you know, all the other content that you're competing against for that particular audience that you're trying to reach. So keep that in mind as well. So, and just to be clear on what I mean, I don't mean just the people that are in your niche that are making the same type of content. What I mean is YouTube, when they understand a viewer, they know the things that viewer is already into, and they predict things that viewer could be into based on other viewers on YouTube that are interested in the same things that person is, based on the content that they're consuming and how they interact with it. So what happens is, let's say that you are publishing videos to a particular audience, and YouTube's like, hey, this person's into movies, they're into jazz music, they're into like, you know, streaming tech, they're into like, you know, all these different things. Then you're competing against, you know, all of those videos. It's not just the people in your niche. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that. 86 Boxing, thank you for your 8 months of support. I love the boxing gloves that you dropped in there in that one. Aperture Movement, thank you for the super chat there, and thank you for the second super chat there. Says, I was wondering if Shorts should have its own playlist. You can if you want to, but it's not really required. But if you're like in my case, I'm going to make a playlist because one of the shorts that I'm going to be putting out on a regular basis is, and I just did the first one last week, is my YouTube tools videos, because it's a great way to just share good tools with you guys. So because of that, I'm going to end up putting all of those shorts into a playlist so that if somebody, even if they're watching it on a computer or a TV or whatever, they can still go into that playlist and they can learn about a lot of helpful YouTube tools really fast, right? In a minute or less. So, so because of that, you can absolutely put shorts into a playlist, but just think about how it makes sense for the people that are interacting with your content. So if you're like, hey, this group of shorts would actually be, a really great experience for somebody regardless of how they were coming into that short, then in that case, put it in a playlist, make it easy for them. 86th Street Chef Project says, just hit 70,000 total views, up from 13 subs last year. Nick's advice works. Do the things. Congratulations on 70,000 views and heading in the right direction. Love it. Absolutely love it. So next up, we've got Mellow Journey. Mellow Journey uploads when they have time. It's motivational content. The goal of the channel is to drive positive mental attitude and create a platform to overcome negative energy. The question is, curious on what affiliate items are best to sell in the motivational space. Thanks for all you do. Motivational, I'm not really sure. So for this question, you should definitely hang out in my monetization streams that I do. So for those of you that are here, so I do monetization live streams too, to where basically we review YouTube channels and we just brainstorm on all the different ways that they could monetize, because content creators are leaving so much money on the table, and you probably are too. So because of that, you should definitely check out my monetization streams. You can actually watch the replays. I did one, I think it was Wednesday. You can go and watch the replay just so you can kind of see what's involved. But it's really, really great for these types of things. But when it comes to the motivational space, I'm not really sure outside of books. So you can link to Amazon and you can link to books on Amazon. You can also, I think Audible also has a affiliate program. So you can start there and then, just explore motivational, affiliate programs on Google. But at the very least, you'll be able to link out to books. Physical books, audio books, that type of thing. You could also do merch as well, motivational merch, to where it's not necessarily like your channel logo, but it's just tons of motivational messages that you do through merch. Let's see here. So next up, we've got Metzver. Metz VR. But before we answer that, Chatty Kathy, thank you for the super chat. It says, hey, Nick, what are the differences between remixes and the scissors button, and what are the best practices? Thanks in advance. So when it comes to the scissors, that's just to create. When you're doing the remixes, then you are basically sampling that content itself. So like with the remix, you can go and remix, anybody's content that actually has that button checked that allows people to remix it. But when you do that on your own, then what ends up happening is it creates a direct link through to the long form content, which is a win. In terms of best practices, as a matter of fact, the last short that I did on my channel was exactly that. So you'll see that on my channel, to where you can actually watch that. It was a clip out of the live stream that I did last week, or maybe the week before. And then it links right into that live stream. Going Crazy in the Kitchen. Love the channel name. As always, says, I love this, Nick. I did not know there was a community around content creation. I find the style easygoing and I'm grateful. I wish you all a great Saturday. Yeah, I'm glad that you're enjoying this. One of the things, and I mentioned this earlier too, one of the things about being a content creator is it's typically like a lonely experience. If you're not doing it, with like a team or, with other people, the process of making videos and editing videos and all that, like it's typically just a, kind of like a lonely experience. So it's cool, being able to connect with other content creators, in this capacity. You're, a channel member, so you're in our members only group also on Facebook. But like being able to, interact with other content creators is wildly helpful. Another thing that I encourage everybody here to do, and there's apps for this. I think there's one called Meet or something like that. But I also encourage you to look for like YouTube meetups in your area. And the reason for that is because, that's also a great place to just like network with other content creators and just kind of share ideas and all of that. Like we started doing them here in where I live. And like the one thing, the recurring thing that keeps being talked about is it's so refreshing to be able to have these conversations with other content creators. That's the thing that keeps coming up. So like people are showing up just to hang out with other content creators. So, definitely make sure that you are, looking into that if you don't want it to just be an always your solo experience, but virtually online, definitely kind of helps with that too. But, when you are, when you're just kind of trudging along and you're doing the thing, yeah, it can definitely be, a lonely experience. So definitely try to connect with others when you can. So really quick, Renee Ritchie says, reply to comment with shorts is also in early beta on iOS, bare bones for now, improving soon, but hit reply and then the shorts button on the right. Yeah, with that, I don't think I have that yet. I'm on iOS. I don't think I have that yet, but I'm definitely going to start answering some subscriber questions in there. I think that's going to be fantastic. I've been looking forward to that one. Let's see here. So Mets VR, says they do sim racing content. The goal of the channel is to reach 1,000 and eventually become a full-time content creator. And the question is, I currently stream almost daily and rarely upload videos. Is this hurting my growth? I do get very loyal number of viewers every stream, approximately 40 to 50, but subscriber numbers have slowed considerably. So when it comes to your live streams, like your uploads versus like your live stream content. So on YouTube, some channels will thrive just on live streams alone. They won't put out any other content. They just do live streams and they'll thrive. So in terms of, your growth being hurt by you doing live streams, no. But keep in mind that, when you are doing live streams, it's not everybody is into live streams, right? So because of that, you do create a little bit of that limitation there for yourself. So if you did want to kind of speed things up a little bit, then in that case, having like a regular live stream that you do or a bunch of regular live streams because you do almost daily, and then also just uploading videos just when you can, and then just making sure that you're being very intentional about those videos and that you're being very intentional about where you're trying to get traffic from for those videos. So in terms of, where on YouTube, homepages, suggested videos, YouTube search, we'll just say recommendations or YouTube search, so that you can make sure that you are, kind of like, hey, I'm doing this live stream to nurture my community and I'm growing from here. But when I'm putting out these videos, they need to be very well designed in terms of the value. So I can make sure that these are going to introduce people to me that would also be a good fit to hang out in my live streams. Let's see here. Chatty Cathy says, thank you, Nick. I must have missed that short. I will check for it. Okay. And Renee says, you should have it. If not, let me know. Sweet. I'll check that as soon as the stream's over today. Yeah, I definitely want to start using that one. Rapid Repair DIY says we're uploading 1 to 2 shorts a day and the average views are growing from hundreds each to thousands per video. If I continue this momentum, could it build up to something impressive like 100,000 per short? Well, as long as people keep responding to your shorts, then yeah, it can, that's the whole thing when it comes to momentum on YouTube, right? Is, a lot of people think that, momentum comes from like just uploading and then people, you have a video that hits and then people ripple through all the content, which can, that can be part of it too. But in reality, like one of the major things when it comes to momentum on YouTube is that when you put out content that performs well, then you have large groups of people that are interacting with that content. So out of that large group of people, for the percentage of those people that really enjoyed that content, it's likely they're going to get recommended more of that content. And then since you have that large group of people that are interacting with that content, that also gives YouTube more data on the users that are enjoying your content, which then can help them recommend it to more people like those people in terms of how they use YouTube. So then what can happen is that snowball, effect that you hear about on YouTube to where you're in all of these recent viewer histories and all of these people are interacting well with your content or, these percentages of these large groups of people. And then YouTube, just start showing your content to them all the time. And as long as you keep adding value to those people or entertaining them or, whatever type of value you provide, then, then that whole thing will keep happening as long as people keep responding well to the content that you're putting out. So because of that, yes, it can get to that. But, just make sure that you're just continually trying to get better and whatever performance you're getting on them right now, just make sure that you're paying attention and just keep trying to, just get just a little bit better. And if you find that like, hey, I'm trying to get better, but it's sending me in the right direction, then start backing off a little bit, right? Because you might make it too good to where people are like, hey, now he's upgraded his cameras and all that stuff. It just doesn't feel the same like it used to. So because of that, just, keep doing what you're doing, but just keep trying to improve just a little bit with everyone that you do. Creative Self Therapy says, I sent a question about my channel in the forum. Okay. Hopefully we will get to it. You're a channel member, so if we don't, then you can just drop a message in our Facebook group and just tag me in there. Real Anarchy says, I've been live streaming 1 day per week plus community page posting, and it led to an explosion in live views. Are those two good for the algorithm? People interacting with your content in any capacity is a positive thing. If it is a community feed, if it is a story, if it is a YouTube short, if it's a live stream, if it's a video, people interacting with your content in any way is a positive thing. So absolutely, by you putting out really good live streams that people respond to, you interacting with people in your community feed, those things for you are, helping you, keep the ball rolling, so to speak. But at the core of what's happening there, people are really enjoying your live streams, right? That's what's happening. So, when people are interacting with anything, it's great, but people are really enjoying your live streams. And because of that, that's why you are, continuing to get more and more live views. So here's what I want to tell you. Make sure, because you are, getting that explosion in live views, make sure that you are paying really close attention to what it is that you're doing. So make sure that you're paying attention to like how you're doing your live streams, how you're structuring your streams. Make sure you pay attention to like how everything is set up in your streams. Make sure you pay attention to like how you're titling your streams, the thumbnails that you're adding to your streams. Make sure you're paying attention to all of that stuff, and take notes of everything it is that you're currently doing, so that you can, so that you can really understand what it is that people are responding to. Okay. Let's see here. Next up on our list, we are going back into the forum for this one. Did we do the sim racing question? Yeah, we did. Okay. So next up, we've got George on the rocks. What's up, George? George is an artist channel. The goal of the channel is to build a community around rock painting. And the question is, are you able to use the upload default established when uploading from a phone? So I haven't uploaded from a phone in quite some time. In the past, upload defaults didn't work on the mobile devices. I don't know if they fixed that or not now, but if you have upload defaults set in your YouTube channel, they're not showing up in your, when you do it on a mobile, then in that case, no. So what you would want to do there is on your phone, because you say that you're on an Android. So just get a notepad on your phone, put in your upload defaults there, and then while you're uploading your video, go over to your notepad, or before you do, go over to your notepad, long press, copy, your upload default out of your notepad, and then go over, upload your video, and then drop your cursor into the, description area, paste your notepad text in there. And then that will essentially work the same way, just with a few more steps, unfortunately. So yeah, it's kind of where we're at with that. Nigel, what's up, man? Hope you're doing awesome. Hey, Amy, nice to see you in here. Do we have StreamYard in the house? I think, did Amy just tag StreamYard? We do. We got StreamYard in the house too. What is going on, StreamYard? Nice to see you in here. StreamYard's like nice mug. We got mugs, we got pillows back here. Yeah, we're going hard on StreamYard. So the next channel here is Normal Mode TV. Normal Mode TV. Oh, and I've got this too, just for fun for everybody here. We got a little StreamYard sticker here too. But Normal Mode TV says that they do video game reviews and essays. The goal of the channel is to improve for now, eventually go full time. And the question is, what are your thoughts on uploading as much as possible versus only putting out your best work? Is the answer somewhere in the middle? Yeah, it is. And the reason the answer is somewhere in the middle is because sometimes we hold ourselves to an extremely high standard. And sometimes some of that content that you put out that's in the middle, people will really respond to that. So because of that, make sure that you do have like your quality, like, hey, this is my threshold. Like it's got to be at least this. I got to have, at least decent lighting. I got to have, at least decent audio. Make sure you have some, standards. But, everything that you publish doesn't have to be 100% completely like, the best that it could ever possibly be. If it's going to prevent you from actually uploading the content, right? So like, if you're like, hey, I've got, this really good video idea that I'm working on. It's going to be awesome, but it's going to take me like a month to put this together. In that case, like you could, as long as it's received as well as you think it's going to be, then in that case, you could just upload once per month and be fine. But if you're like, hey, I want to, practice more, I want to do the thing more, I want to get more videos out for my audience, things like that, but I just can't do that perfect video every time, then in that case, get your standard together on what that next step down would look like, and then publish some content like that and see how people respond to it as well. And then always have that perfect stuff that you do, but have some of the content that you put out. If you're wanting to upload more and you're wanting to, practice the thing more, have some of the content that you're putting out to where it's, just it's not that perfect bar, but it's just that one bar underneath that. Lori's Tech Time, thank you. Glad that you dig the studio. So next up, we got Draw or Die Company. Draw or Die Company does, they are encouraging artists drawing exercises. The goal of the channel says, I want it to be a main pillar for my brand, maybe go full time one day. And the question is, my regular videos are helping artists, which is growing and doing okay. Will it hurt my audience if I put up more auto bio comics, like stories and playlists on my channel? My worry is that if non-artists come in, love the stories, they'll skip my artist heavy topics. Yeah, this is where understanding your audience is super important, because when you know who it is that you're making content for, it makes these types of questions really easy. Because here you already have identified that you have like your artist heavy topics that you do for artists. So if your channel is serving artists, then put out content that serves the audience, that serves artists. If you can figure out a way to have the auto bio comics stuff serve the artists as well, if you can figure a way to frame that to make it work, then in that case, go for it. But if it's not something that's going to serve that main audience that you're trying to grow, then in that case, if it was me, I wouldn't put it up there, just because, you want to have that, theme for your channel so that you can serve that audience. That'll help you grow faster and help make your channel more bingeable and things like that. So, so because of that, if it was me, I would just make sure that I'm still serving the artist community, unless of course I was trying to like pivot the channel or something like that.
Super chat.
Synergy Effect, thank you for the super chat. It says, I get most of my shorts views from the US, which is their country. Says, so should I focus on specific upload times for my shorts to gain that traction? So when it comes to YouTube, according to YouTube, the upload time, the time that you upload videos doesn't impact long-term performance. However, when you upload your videos when your audience is online, then you help YouTube learn faster who the right fit is for your content, because it's going to be showing your content to those people that are online. Like if you upload videos when everybody's asleep, then it doesn't really have, the same people to show it to. But when you publish the videos when your audience is mostly online, then you can start getting immediate feedback on how your videos, on how people are responding to your videos. So that can help you like make quick changes fast. Like, for example, like if you're like, hey, I need to update my thumbnail. Hey, I need to update my title, it's just not getting that response that I typically get in this period of time. Then in that particular case, by publishing when people are online, you can get that information quickly to make the changes quickly without having the video sit there for a really long time before you start getting that information.
Welcome to the Niminati.
Carolyn, the Funnel Queen, welcome to the Niminati. So when you get the chance, go to niminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to the system that we use for our memberships, and make sure that you just create your account there. And once you do, you're going to get some digital downloads, like the little, subscribe button that you see like right down here in the corner of the video. You're going to get like a little pack of those. We've got some other like video graphics. We've got a members only Facebook group. So you're going to get, direct access to that as well. So make sure that just go over there, create the account. And then when you do, once you get inside, then you're going to see, the rewards and all the, member perks that you're going to get in there. And welcome to the Niminati. So next up, Renee says that's a great way to explain it. Thank you. That's where I get my creativity, right? Is trying to think of like, okay, how can I explain this stuff? Right? Like, how can I explain this stuff in a way that like, that makes sense, but, that also, shares the right information. Yeah, it's fun. So next up, we got Architectural Sheet Metal. Architectural Sheet Metal, what's up, man? Says they do exterior sheet metal installation tutorials.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Turn that power off over there. Let's see here. So the goal of the channel is to put this amazing trade in front of as many people as possible and to make money to support the dream. Question is, how do I build momentum with my channel? Please define momentum on YouTube. I've been hearing this term get tossed around a lot. We just did that. Yeah, we just talked about momentum. So yeah, I think you're good there. So if you have any questions about it, of course, because you're in our members group. So if you have any questions about it, then you can ask in there. But I just went through like a whole thing about momentum. So you should be good there. So next up, we've got Skada. I hope I'm saying that right. Skada says that they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to help others and going full-time on YouTube. And the question is, what to do with scary tactics regarding copyright system and those who abuse it. I got an email yesterday when I was at work stating that they found infringement against YouTube's policy of licensed content. They want to warn me beforehand, but the video they claim is infringing. I know for a fact only audio pieces there are my voice, gameplay audio for outro free music clip from YouTube's audio library. So what to do next? So YouTube absolutely has, issues with their, copyright system. Sometimes, those systems will be inaccurate. Like sometimes they will, flag things that aren't right, which in that particular case, then you would dispute that. But before you dispute it, you have to make sure that you legitimately have the rights to use everything that you're using. So for example, gameplay audio. Keep in mind, like, let's say if I was playing Fortnite. Well, in Fortnite, when I hop in a car in Fortnite, it'll go ahead and start playing music for me. Sometimes it's popular music. And regardless of the music that it's playing, if that music is copyright protected, then I could get dinged for it, even though it's okay and allowed for me to show the game of Fortnite, right? So because of that, just keep in mind that when you are playing games that you are, risking also having copyright issues there, because playing the game doesn't give you permission to use the song, right? So because of that, you might be in violation just through your gameplay audio. But one thing that they're rolling out right now, hopefully it's available for you now, but they do have specifically to where when you do get that claim, they are showing you exactly where it happens in the video. So in your particular case, you should be able to see if it happened in the gameplay audio or if it happened in the outro music. And then once you identify that, then that's going to give you the direction on if you should dispute it or not. If it's from the gameplay, because you don't have the rights to that music there, then in that case, I wouldn't dispute that because you would lose. But if it is something that like from YouTube's music library, as long as you're giving the proper credits, because in some cases you do have to give attribution. So as long as you're giving the proper credits there, then in that case, I would, if it was me, I would appeal it, dispute it. Next up, we've got Clara Lima. Clara Lima says they do lifestyle content. The goal of the channel is sharing interests. And the question is, I used to post weekly and I stopped over a year ago. What's the best strategy to start again? Start, right? Start now. Like start working on that next step. If that next step is like, okay, I got to come up with a video idea, then start working on that video idea. And then from there, okay, here's my video idea. How would I package that up with my thumbnail and title? And then once you figure that out, okay, now I've got that figured out. Now I'm going to go make the video, right? Make the video, get it up onto YouTube. Just start taking those steps to do the thing. And then next thing you know, it's going to be a few months down the road. You're going to be right back in the rhythm. Maybe even a few weeks down the road, you're going to be right back in the rhythm. You're going to be making content on a regular basis. You're going to be doing the thing. The Wooden Hobbyist, thank you for the super chat. It says, goal is to entertain and teach custom woodworking builds for beginners to immediate builders. I just broke 1,000 subscribers, but I'm having trouble increasing engagement and watch time. First off, congratulations to you for crossing your first 1,000. High five and fist bump. When it comes to the watch time requirements, so the very first thing I recommend is if you're not doing this already, make sure that you are using your end screens in your videos. And I know for a lot of people that sounds obvious, but I look at a ton of YouTube channels, and on a lot of YouTube channels, people just don't use end screens. So make sure that you're using your end screens to redirect viewers or to direct viewers to more content that's relevant to the video that they're watching. So for example, if they're watching a video, because you're doing the Wooden Hobbyist, I'm guessing you're doing like, you're building stuff. So let's say, for example, if somebody's watching a video on like making a dresser or making a bed frame, then in that case, the next video they might want to watch might be something you have on your channel about making a dresser for the bedroom, so that they can create like a whole bedroom set. So in that particular case, what you would do is you would make sure that you have an in-screen element, at least one, linking to one of those videos. Even better if it's put into a playlist and you do it that way. So then they can actually sit and binge watch the whole bedroom set. And then from there, you want to make sure that you're also writing out a comment in your own comment section recommending that next video they should watch, and then you put a link to that there. And then once you post that comment, over on the far right-hand side of that comment, you're going to see a 3-dot menu. Click on that, and then it's going to have the option to pin comment. So then when you do that, now you've just added the in-screen. I'm going to assume you're using in-screens already, but just in case, you've added the in-screen, and then you've now added a clickable link to that pinned comment area. Next thing you want to do is you want to go down to your video descriptions. You want to make sure you have this on all of your videos. Go into your video descriptions and make sure that you're also adding links to relevant content in your video descriptions, because people do go into your video descriptions. People will click on videos in your video descriptions and watch more of your content. This is something that I call watch time trap, right? Is you basically just set up all of YouTube's features to send people to very targeted videos based on the videos that they're watching. And then of course you want to make sure that you have your channel page set up in a way, your YouTube homepage, not YouTube homepage, but your YouTube channel page. So if you go to youtube.com/@thewoodenhobbyist, the information that they see there, make sure that you're also putting your content into playlist and adding those playlists as sections to that channel page. So if somebody's watching some of your woodworking videos, they're like, wow, these are great. Then they click on your channel name, they land on your channel page. Then in that case, it's easy for them to find content that you've already categorized for them into sets that you've put onto your channel page so that they can binge watch that way. So make sure that you're doing all of those things. Also, since you are doing woodworking, make sure that you are also thinking of your content in sets instead of just one-off videos. So for example, instead of saying, hey, I'm just going to make this video this week, start thinking like, okay, over the next like 30 days or over the next 90 days, what videos can I put together so that I can start creating these series that people can binge watch? And then when you do that, then you'll also start stacking up watch time faster. So do all of those things that I just mentioned, and you should start increasing your watch time, faster than you already are. And also keep in mind that people watching the videos for a longer period of time is also another factor there. And you can also add to it through live streaming if you're comfortable with that, or if if you're considering exploring the idea of live streaming, live streaming, showing people your shop, showing people, having people actually watch while you're building stuff with live streaming. You can also accumulate a considerable amount of watch time through live streaming also. So let's see here. So next up on our list, we've got, and Nigel says, hey, regarding copyright, how is it that channels can make a whole video with movie B-roll and are fine, but I use a 2-second clip and get flagged? So keep in mind, some people do work out licensing. They do work that out, in some cases. Some people have like whole teams on their YouTube channels dedicated to working out licensing. It also comes down to specifically how you're using it. So for example, if you are using it as like legitimate fair use, then in that particular case, you can dispute it. And in your particular case, how you got dinged, you might have been using it in a fair use way, or if you were using it in a way that, maybe you use it as a way to kind of emphasize something you're saying, then in that case, that's not really fair use. You're just using it, for that emphasis, to where you said something and then you have like Will Ferrell come in and then add like a little bit of a joke, and then you keep going on with what you were saying. So you just have to make sure that you're using it in the right way. But another thing to keep in mind is just because from the outside, it looks like these channels aren't getting dinged for this stuff, they're getting copyright. Some channels will get copyright claims and they'll have ads running on their videos, but they might not be making any money from those ads, even though you might be seeing ads. So keep that in mind as well. Let's see here. Hey, Mike. Hope you're doing awesome, Mike Van Doozy. It's been a while, dude. Hope you're doing great. Lola Isa Vlog says how to gain 4,000 public watch hours. So first, implement the watch time trap thing that I was talking about just a minute ago on the last question that we answered. And then 2 is you have to go through the process of learning how to make content that people will watch for a longer period of time. Now, when it comes to YouTube, don't be discouraged. Like when people go into your videos, they're not watching them for a long time now. Part of the process of being a content creator here and getting the results from YouTube is learning how to make content that people respond to. In some cases, people can do that right away. In other cases, it'll take people, a considerable amount of time, meaning, months, years, to, to be able to do that based on the amount of time they have to dedicate to it and so on. So because of that, just focus your efforts on learning how to get people to click, and then of course, making excellent content that people will enjoy watching. And you can learn how people enjoy your content through looking at your audience retention reports. And keep in mind, your audience retention doesn't need to be 100%. Right? It just needs to be to where it's competitive for the platform for you to start getting more views. So in some cases, it might need to hit, on average 50%, depending on the space that you're in. In other cases, it might need to hit on average 70%. But sometimes you can be fine, on a video that, I have one video on my channel. I've got like a minute and some change watch time on it. I've got, I think, like 2 million views maybe on that video. I know it's over 1 million, but the click-through rate's abysmal and all that, but it's because it's been shown to so many people, right? When I first published a video, everything was nice, but now that it's been shown to so many people, it's pushed all those numbers down. So you have to first learn how to get those, how to get people to click and how to get people to enjoy your content. And you figure that out through looking at your click-through rate, because you look at the impressions that YouTube is giving you. Anybody here, as a matter of fact, if you say to yourself, YouTube's not showing my content to anybody, then what I encourage you to do is go into your analytics, and you can do this on a phone through the Creator Studio app. You can also do this on your, on a computer, but go into your Creator Studio and look in your analytics and look for impressions. And impressions is when YouTube shows your content to somebody on the platform. If you see that you have impressions, that means YouTube's trying. YouTube is showing, the system is showing your content to people. From there, it's your ability to get people to click on it, right? And then once they click on it, your ability to give them a piece of content that they enjoy. So look to see how you're able to get people to click compared to the amount of impressions that you're getting. And then look in your audience retention reports, which is at each individual video. You look at this at the video level, not the channel level, but look in your audience retention reports, and that's gonna let you know how people are responding to your video content and the experience that they're having with it. Let's see here. Okay, so as we keep on going, we've got Create with Linda.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Create with Linda says that they do family vlogging and cooking. They say family flogging and cooking, but that's like a totally different thing. So family vlogging and cooking. The goal of the channel is love it and to get monetized. And the question is, I have 47,000 views in the 28 days and 853 subscribers. Is that good? Yes, it is. And the reason that it's good is because through 853 subscribers, I'm going to assume, and we all know how foolish it is to assume, but I'm going to assume that those 853 people are not people that you know, right? So since those 853 people are not people that you know, then in that particular case, that is proof of concept in terms of what I'm doing is something that people respond to positively, and they enjoy it enough that they're going to subscribe, right? If you can get 853 people to do that, you can get 8,530 people to do it, and you can keep scaling that out. The fact that you have 47,000 views says that the content that you're making is competitive enough for YouTube that they're showing it to they're showing it to a lot more than 47,000 people, but you're able to get 47,000 people to click on what it is that you're doing, or to enjoy your short enough, if you're doing short content, to enjoy your short enough that they're going to keep showing it to more people, right? So you're doing fantastic. Keep going. Keep trying to get better, of course, but keep going. You're doing awesome. So you have proof that what it is that you're doing is being well received. Now it comes down to fine tuning things and making things better and understanding your audience in a better way and your content decisions and all that to start amplifying everything. But the fact that you've got 47,000 views and 853 subscribers means that you're heading in the right direction. You're doing the right things. Okay, so next up on the list, yeah, I shouldn't have said that flogging thing out loud, I don't think. Some things are just better kept in here, right? Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that one out loud. But the next question that we have here on the channel is from Kikicio Sports. Kikicio Sports does NFL stories. The goal of the channel is I've always liked football on YouTube. My goal is not to be famous, but to build a quality brand forever. Love it. Absolutely love it. And the question is, I've gotten 150,000 views in the last 90 days, but I cannot get to 1,000 subscribers. My channel is only 5 months old, so could that be the reason? But how to get 500 more subscribers to get 1,000? What steps should I try? Try asking people to subscribe. I know this sounds like the most basic answer in the whole world, but it works. So in your case specifically, because you're new, I wouldn't put it at the beginning of your videos because you have to be really careful how you ask. Like you have to make sure you have a really good hook. You have to make sure that that hook for the video is something that would cause people to keep watching. And then you have to craft your opening, call to action in a very specific way. So I wouldn't do that yet. What I would do is make sure that towards the end of your videos that you're asking people to subscribe, or while you're just talking about the content, this is the best way, which is why I saved it for last. While you're talking about the content, find a place to just drop it in there in a casual way. So it's something that's non-intrusive, something that is not being crammed down their throat, so to speak. What you're doing is as you're talking about whatever it is that you're talking about the NFL, all you do is just while you have a lull in something that you're saying is just mention, oh, hey, by the way, if you love the NFL, I make videos like this every week, so make sure you subscribe. And then just keep talking about whatever it is that you're talking about. And then that way, you just have a really quick, brief interruption that's not even really an interruption or not really intrusive, just to remind people to subscribe, and then you keep moving on with the content, okay? So don't like stop everything you're doing and have like a big highlight moment, just mention it casually. And then by doing that, you're just reminding people, because if you make good content, people are just enjoying the content. They're not thinking about, oh, I gotta make sure I'm subscribed, I gotta make sure that they're just like sitting back watching it on, watching it on their phone or watching it on their TV or watching it on their computer or whatever. They're not really thinking about that. So when you remind people, then it causes people to, to take that action. Next, we got the Campbell Cloud. Campbell Cloud says they do a family vlog channel. The goal is to promote the idea of family. The question is, we are a family vlog channel, which went viral 1.5 years ago with a birth vlog. The viral video is driving lots of traffic to our channel, but it seems as though our other content is now being shown to the wrong audience due to this viral video. It's showing recommending our content to people watching baby birth videos, not fun family vlogs. How can we fix this? So this particular scenario, I've been in this scenario with somebody that I've worked with before. So what you have to do here is this is gonna suck. You don't have to do this. So you can keep people coming in from that video, right? You can still do that. But keep in mind, the birth is part of your family story, okay? So because of that, find something else on your channel or make something that you can recommend from that content, and put that in your end screens, put that in your pinned comments for that video, and try to build a bridge for the people that are enjoying that content. Try to build a bridge or a filter of sorts for some of those people to click into your end screens and to click on that pinned comment and go start participating in the family vlogs. And by doing that, what's going to happen is you're going to slowly start filtering the right people into the other content. And the people that are just there for the other stuff, they're not going to respond well to the other content. And therefore, YouTube's not going to recommend that other content to them anymore. But for the people that filter over, that do enjoy that family content, then for them, where they're like, hey, they're born here, now we're kind of following this journey, then what's going to happen there is for the people that do cross over and then do continue to enjoy that content, which is why you have to be very intentional about the specific videos that you're putting here. And it's even better if you can do it with a playlist. But basically, as you start filtering people through, then YouTube will start recommending that content to better audiences. So, or audiences that are a better fit for it. So absolutely, I've been in that situation with a past client before. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And just a heads up, if you have more birthing content, building a playlist around that content, just a quick side note here, building a playlist around that whole birthing experience, if you haven't done this yet, and interlinking all of that can really create some incredible activity. If all of the videos are as high response as the video, the original video that went viral for you. But what you're really looking for long-term is you're looking for that filter in terms of filtering through via your end screens, cards in the video. Make sure you save them for that last 20% though, but filtering through your cards, end screens, and then of course the pinned comment, so that you can filter those people that would be interested in the family content, so that you're using that viral content as a vehicle or as like a top of funnel to introduce people to the family, right? And then as people start being introduced to the family, it should help with YouTube, who YouTube is recommending your stuff to. But keep in mind that like the content that's performing well for the birth stuff though, like that's still going to keep doing that. So those are still going to keep doing well. It's just the whole thing that you're trying to do is you're just trying to fine tune things or pull or extract people from that would be into the family vlogs. So the next one is SD_games with a 3 backwards. Clever, dig it. The type of channel is gaming. The goal of the channel is to increase engagement. And the question is, hey, Nick, I'm a gaming channel and recently got the community tab as I have less than 500 subscribers. I was wondering, what is the best way to use it to get more engagement in the tab? I tried things like polls, text, simple update messages, etc., and I still get 0 engagement. Just keep working on it. So you're under 500 subscribers now. So YouTube doesn't have like tons of, information in terms of who to show your content to, or not your content, but like your community posts and stuff and really the content. So because of that, just keep doing what it is that you're doing, keep using the features that you're using, keep publishing, keep using the community feed. And then over time, that stuff will slowly start to come alive as everything else starts to come alive. Because, when you put out that one video that ends up getting, substantially more views than the other, then that'll kind of kickstart everything else. So because of that, you want to make sure that you are, always putting out content that's good, that's a great fit for your audience and all that. But when you're using those features like the community feed, you want to make sure that you are, considering that those are going to be shown to some non-subscribers, but, the first people to see them are more likely going to be people that are already engaged in your content. Let's see here. Next up. So Tia Truth says, if you delete a playlist, does the video keep the views? Yes. Yeah, so the video, it has its own views, and then the playlist has its own views. So absolutely. But if you unlist your video or you private your video, then you'll lose the public views and watch time for that. So you'll still see them like on your end, but like in terms of like what's counted, you lose those. Jeff King Yo-Yo, it's a fun name, does gaming content. Goal of the channel is to stream to people. And the question is, do you need to make shorts to draw people to your channel? No, you do not. Shorts are an unprecedented opportunity that you're probably never going to see again on YouTube. So you can, of course, use YouTube Shorts, but they're not a requirement. I'm actually like trying to rewire my brain to enjoy them more because like I've made so many videos that like in my brain, it's just the default is what you see here. So like it's in terms of, the fun part of the short, like that's the part that I'm trying to like dial in for myself. That's why like doing the YouTube tools, like I can have like tons of fun with that. So that's why, for me personally, that's the direction I'm going to go with most of the shorts. So it'll be like quick tips and then like, YouTube tools is going to be, a majority of what it is that I'm going to be doing with my shorts. Some motivational stuff for you guys too, because that encouragement's always helpful. Double D Homestead does homesteading and prepping content. The goal of the channel is to teach people how to survive. That's good. That's really good. Question, I'm not understanding the analytics at all. I feel very lost. So this is really common when it comes to YouTube. When you log into analytics, you have all these numbers all over the place, all these charts, and all this stuff. And you don't really know what to click on. You don't know, yeah, the challenge of the 60-second restraint. Yeah, that's tough too. But the thing with YouTube analytics is it does look complicated. They're actually in the process of, and they've been doing this actually for quite some time, and they've actually done a pretty stellar job at it to where they're taking the analytics and then they're giving you like this quick view of your analytics to where it takes a lot of the complication out. But in a lot of cases, when you're first looking at it, it can also be complicated. So if you have a computer and if you're accessing YouTube on a computer, what I recommend is next to a lot of the different boxes that you have on YouTube, there'll be a little info icon. And if you click on that, then what you'll see is you'll see a little question mark. I can't remember if it's question mark or info icon, but either way, when you hover over that or you click on that, then it's going to have a little window that pops up that will actually tell you what that thing is. And by using those, you can really learn your analytics relatively quickly in terms of just like the core stuff that you need to be paying attention to. But you'll get a better understanding of it if you just start looking at all those little tooltips that YouTube gives you. And then, of course, Start watching videos on YouTube Analytics. Roberto Blake actually has, I think it's like a 4 or 5 hour live stream. It's like a deep dive on YouTube Analytics, so I recommend that. His name's Roberto Blake. If you look for that and then YouTube Analytics, that should come up. He did it during a live stream, and then that should start, heading you in the right direction. Jeff says, "Got my coffee. Let's get the party started." That's what I'm talking about. Cheers. Cheers. Put your cups up here, everybody. Cheers, right? Cheers, everybody. And then let's take a drink. All right. So next up on our list here, we've got Anubab. Anubab says that they do anime content. The goal of the channel is to engage with other anime lovers and become the hub. The question is, I'm posting shorts daily from last month. The views are decent, but I want to boost the views and engagement. Can you check out my channel and give me some tips? So I don't look at YouTube channels during these streams. Every now and then I will, but I don't do it on request. And the reason for that is because I do an entire channel review thing based on monetization, and there's so many other people doing channel reviews now. So because of that, I just want to offer something different. So I don't do that type of thing here in the stream, but we do that for channel members. So so because of that, I won't be pulling up your channel. But I can tell you this: I've done hundreds of channel reviews in the past live. So for those, you'd have to go pretty deep into the archive, and some of the information wouldn't be as relevant now. But you can definitely go into my archive, into some of my really old live streams, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And you'll see me reviewing channel after channel after channel after channel after channel. So Paycheck Buddy is the next one here on the channel list. The type of channel is their personal finance app. Oh, that's cool. The goal of the channel is to promote my app and get organic downloads and sales. You're in the right place. The question is, what would be a good strategy for reaching my goal? Talk about finance. That's it. Have a YouTube channel helping people with their finances. I'm sure that when you're making the app, you know who it is that's going to, that you're trying to get to use the app, just in terms of where they are in their process. But basically, make your videos help people with their finances, basically research everything that people are looking for related to finances and make a video for it, helping them. And then in every single video, have a little lower third, which is basically a little graphic that comes up down here in the bottom, lower part of your screen. And it would have your name on it. And then it would have, your website URL there. And then when they would go there, it would be the app. Or you could even say, I'm not sure what your name is, but you could be like, hey, I'm just going to call you Dave for now. But I'd be like, hey, I'm Dave. I'm the creator of what's it called again? Paycheck Buddy. So, hey, my name's Dave. I'm the creator of Paycheck Buddy, and I help people with their finances. Today, we're talking about this. Or I'm the creator of the, PayPal Buddy, or not PayPal, the Paycheck Buddy app. And today we're talking about, this. And by doing that, you're spreading a little bit of awareness, but then you can also have a little graphic that pops up, let people know, hey, hit this QR code to download my app, whatever. Or, get the Paycheck Buddy app at, this particular URL. So then they can go there to find it. And then, of course, make sure you have links in your description that are pointing it to it as well. Also, on your main channel page, make sure that you have, if you go to your About Me page, you have the option to put links in that will show up in your channel art. Make sure you put a link there that says, download the app here, or get my app here, or get my finance app here, something like that, or get the finance app here, and put that in your channel art as well. Technically, you might even want to make a video for the non-subscribed and for the subscribed, to where you actually mention the same exact thing. You talk about the channel, how you're helping people with finances. You mention that you are the person of the app. That also gives you that moment for subscribers and non-subscribers to mention that you have that available also. But yeah, just helping people with their finances will be the fast track to you getting a lot of downloads on that. So Dabosh says, let's see here. Did I just see? I did. Hey, Phil. What's up, man? Hope you're doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. So Dabosh11 says they've been on YouTube making videos for a year or more. They do motorcycle track day trips. The goal of the channel is to keep people safer, teaching them what I've learned in the past 15 years. And the question is, good morning, Nick. Hopefully you are well. My audience retention on some videos and shorts do well. For example, 145% on 22 seconds, yet I have few views. I have much worse metric videos and shorts that are pushed more than 3,000 to 5,000 views. Any ideas why? Absolutely. So I've actually referenced this a few times during the stream today in terms of when your videos go out to more people, it typically pushes the numbers down. So for example, it's really easier to have higher metrics when you don't get, your videos in front of a lot of people, because the only people seeing them are the people that YouTube think are like the ideal fit for that video. But as soon as they start going out more broad in terms of people that aren't that perfect fit, but they're like an okay fit, then that's going to hurt your numbers. When it's like, okay, well now they're not even an okay fit, but they're like they might fit. Then in that case, then it's going to be even harder to maintain those numbers. So that's what happens there. Next on our list, we've got Angelina Carlos. I think we might have answered one here already, but so they have a kids channel, and the goal of the channel is to provide educational and entertaining videos to kids. The question is, we have a kid YouTube channel and had great growth since starting in June 22, but it seems we've hit a plateau. We post weekly, do keyword research. Okay. So really quick, if you have a kids channel, you're not really trying to show up in search. What you're trying to do is you want to think about recommendations. So keyword research, that's still important because, you can still, have those keywords in your titles, that kind of stuff. So it is still important, but don't think that you need to be focused on YouTube search. We have entertaining, colorful, fun videos, and we saw rapid growth in the first few months. Now it seems like if I don't share our videos with all of our mommy friends, the videos are not really getting much traction. I feel like we have everything recommended down packed. Consistency, good content, keyword research, great thumbnails, etc. What else could we do to get more activity? So first, I would not share it with your mommy friends. I would only share, like if it's a kids channel and you're providing entertaining videos to kids, then I wouldn't be sharing it with your mommy friends. And the reason for that is because when you are sharing it with people that know you, some of those people are going to click on it and maybe leave a comment real quick just so that you can know that they were there, but they're not necessarily going to, you can't count on them. And I know this sounds horrible, but it's just the facts. You can't count on them to watch the videos all the way to the end and then click on another video and watch that one to the end because they really love the video. You just can't count on that. And you can't even expect them to do that. Right? So because of that, first, don't share it with them. Let the growth happen organically on YouTube. Next is you're saying that you have entertaining, colorful, fun videos. So the ones that saw growth, the ones that were getting the activity, those have tons of clues attached to them. So what you want to do is inside of your analytics, you have something called the compare tool. This is inside of your advanced analytics. In order to find this, you log into your YouTube channel on a computer. You go into your creator studio. Once you're in your YouTube studio, once you're in there, then you click on analytics. Once you're in analytics, then you click on the blue text up in the top right that says advanced mode. Once you click into that, you're going to be able to select one of your videos and then you're going to click compare. Once you click compare, technically you can actually do this at the video level itself. So you don't even have to go at the channel level. So you can go into your content, find the video that you want to compare that's performed well, click on that, and then within there, then you'll take that same path to get into advanced. And then once you're in advanced mode there, then you can click on compare it to one of the videos that hasn't performed that great. And then you're going to be able to start comparing metrics and start getting an idea of why one did better than the other. So you'll be able to see where the views came from. You'll be able to see the retention comparison on each. You'll be able to see the click-through rate compared to the impressions on both and so on. So you want to start using that information to start figuring out why some videos did better than others in terms of the metrics. But then you got to interpret those metrics. So for example, if you're like, hey, this video got clicked on way more than this one, which would make sense because if this one's getting clicked on a ton, we're getting a lot more views on this one, then of course that makes sense. So when you see things like that, then that shows you okay, why do I think people clicked on this more? And then that's where the real work starts happening, because then you have to start coming up with all these different theories where it's okay, so this one was colorful. Was it the topic? Was it, this, that, or the other thing? And then once you start putting out your theories, you want to write all this stuff down. Once you start putting out your theories, then you have to start applying those theories to new videos to see if your theories are correct or not. And then you'll start figuring out like, okay, when we do these types of things, people respond. When we do these types of things, they don't. And then by doing that, that's going to help you fine tune everything. And that will help you start getting more consistent performance. But keep in mind that, you know, when it comes to a channel thriving and then falling off, in some cases, that can be like one video that's doing that, right? It can be one video, two videos, and then, you know, something comes along that ends up getting more recommendations than those, and it kind of, you know, causes those to lose priority, and then that can, you know, impact the entire channel. So, you know, make sure that you are keeping those types of things in mind as well. But first, go in and start comparing content and start looking in your stats to start figuring out like what's going on with your videos, with the ones that aren't performing compared to the ones that are performing, so that you can start using the performance as an indicator, as a guide to what it is that you need to do to get more views. Brockton magnet fixture. Oh, really quick. VVS tips and tricks.
Welcome to the Niminati.
Welcome to the Niminati. Make sure when you get the chance, you go to niminvip.com. That's going to take you into our membership system. It's called Members Amp. It's what we're using for that, membersamp.com. And basically with that system, just create your account over there. And once you log in, you're going to get like downloads, stuff that you can download like immediately once you get in there. And then you're also going to get the access to the Facebook group. So you want to make sure that once you unlock that one, that you do click on the link there, that you go to the Facebook group and that you fill out the information there. If everybody that's joined is a member, if you can do all that stuff before the stream's over today, then I can get you into the Facebook group before the, or actually like as soon as the stream is complete today. Really quick, Event Yours Spirits of Spirits says, good morning, Nick. Sorry I'm late to class. No worries. I'm here for my daily Nick Nimmin Nugget. Yes, I gave your videos a reference name. You've been very helpful with info since I'm new to YouTube. Awesome. I'm glad that you're enjoying the content. Glad that you're finding it helpful. And thanks for the kind words and for the super chat as well. And keep in mind, there's always the replay, so you can listen to this in the background while you're doing other things. And we also put this up on as a podcast as well. So for those of you that might be like listening to this in the background on the video, if you're trying to like save data or something, you can always, listen to the podcast version of this as well for those of you on the replay. So Brockton Magnet Fisher says they upload one time per week or more. They do entertainment content. The goal of the channel is I want to be able to give back to the community. Hey, and really quick, Chantel just dropped a link in here saying that I'm up to 739 followers over on TikTok. So on NickTalk, love it. So, if you're not following me over on TikTok, just as a heads up, I put up unique content over there. So there's like a few videos that are crossover that I put up into YouTube Shorts, but I'm also putting like different stuff up over there as well. So make sure that if you are following me here on YouTube, that you also follow me over there, because I'm showing some like behind the scenes stuff of like my YouTube setup and that kind of stuff. So make sure that if you have a TikTok account, if you're not following me yet, make sure that you do that, so that you can get that content as well. Explode 2 says, how much coffee is bad coffee? See, now we're getting into the into the serious questions here. So yeah, I'm sure there's a limit. I don't know. Can you overdose on coffee? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing or not. If possible, I actually don't drink that much coffee to where it would be an issue. I don't think. Anyway, Bragton Magnet Fisher says that they do entertainment content. The goal says I want to be able to give back to the community. And the question is, first of all, good morning, Nick. Love your show. Thank you. Glad that you're enjoying it. Question is, do I need to copy my title and put it in my description and my tag list? No. So all you do is if you are going after like a specific like keyword, your title isn't your keyword, right? So if you're going after a keyword or a keyword phrase, then it's typical best practice to make sure that you're also mentioning that keyword or keyword phrase and maybe some variations of it in natural language that would make sense in your description. And then of course, you can add those to your tags if you want to, but it really doesn't matter these days. But just since that box is there, still add that keyword or keyword phrase and variants to your tags until they remove that box. Once that box is gone, don't worry about it anymore. But while it's there, make sure you use it. But that's pretty much it when it comes to that. But keep in mind, that's if you're trying to get stuff to show up for like YouTube search, but it can also give context, anyway. But when it comes to keywords, it's not necessarily just about YouTube search. It's also about, like, if you log into YouTube let's do it this way. If you were to log into YouTube and you are somebody that is researching getting a MacBook, in that particular case, if YouTube recommends a video to you on the homepage and MacBook is somewhere in the title, there's a really good chance that that's going to stand out to you. And if you're researching MacBooks, then there's a really good chance you're probably even going to click on it. So when you add those types of things to your title, then it can help the people that you're trying to reach identify that your content is about something that they're interested in. So using keywords and keyword phrases isn't always about, YouTube search. It's helpful there. But it can also, help the people that you're trying to reach also identify that your content's about something that they care about. So those are things that you definitely want to think about. But using keywords or keyword phrases isn't always the thing that you want to do, because in some cases, just being like vague, but then having, something that makes sense to your audience that you're trying to reach in your thumbnail might do the trick for you. So really quick, VVS Tips and Tricks says, after several years, I'm finally getting started, focusing on using my heating and plumbing experience to help and teach others to better understand heating and plumbing and provide golden nuggets of knowledge. That's fantastic. So first off, it's awesome that you've decided to go for it. The hardest part of YouTube, my brother and I were talking about this the other day. The hardest part of YouTube is actually getting started, right? Getting those first videos up, getting the channel set up, being like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then actually going through the process of making those first videos and actually getting them up. It's the hardest part. From there, it's just like doing the thing over and over again while trying to get better at it, right? So it's like the fact that you've started is fantastic, because there's tons of people that want to start YouTube channels and they just don't, because they're so stuck in the okay, well, I just can't figure out what it is that I want to commit to, or I can't figure out what niche to go into, or I'm just going to sit here and plan for the next 3 years. Like, people do that and they just don't get started. So the fact that you are like, hey, I'm going for it, and I'm just going to learn as I go. That's huge, and it's awesome. And congratulations to you for taking that step. But one thing I do want to bring to your attention. So right at the very top of this chat right now, there's a super chat up here that says, "Thank you for everything that you teach," from Roger Wakefield. He's also into plumbing, and he serves plumbers as well. So what I recommend is that you go check out his channel also, because one thing that he did is he started making content about, this is how you fix this, this is how you fix this, this is how you fix this, that type of stuff. And that content, was getting views and all of that. But in his case, now he still serves plumbers. He still adds values to plumbers in a bunch of different ways through a bunch of different, outlets online. And one of the things that he does is he also will share content that has these crazy plumbing situations, and through that content, it's helped him go viral in multiple occasions, and all of his videos do well, and he's thriving, and he just crossed 500,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. So I recommend that you check him out, just so that you can kind of see what he's doing and just kind of get an idea of other approaches that you can take, right? So so definitely make sure that you check that out when you get the chance. Terry Hill, thank you for the super chat, says, I go live every day and then I edit down the live and upload for viewers on who want to watch on straight to the point video. Will YouTube penalize me for spamming due to a live and upload going up within 24 hours? No, because you're taking down the live stream. So when you take down the live stream, then you're totally fine. And even still, if you have the live stream, it's a big long, okay, let's say for example, this live stream, I've been streaming for 2 hours and 30 minutes already. I'll be streaming for a little bit longer. And when it comes to this, I can take this and I can take out a bunch of different clips of this, and then I could publish those as videos, and it would be perfectly fine. Because then what I would be doing is I would be making a unique, individual short piece of content, not like a short, but like a shorter video for each question that I answered. I actually started a whole other channel that's a clips channel for this, and with that content, it's just all content that's just cut out of these live streams. But I could put that content up on this channel if I wanted to. So, and I actually have in the past. I put some of those videos up here as well. So you can absolutely do that. It's perfectly fine. Adrena Brownia, I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. When you get the chance, go to nimminvip.com. It's going to redirect you to our members platform. It's called Members Amp. Set up your account there. Once you do, it's going to unlock. Once you go in there and you connect everything, it's going to unlock some stuff that you can start using right away. And it's going to give you access to our members only Facebook group. So make sure that if you can do this before the stream is over today, make sure that you go ahead and get your request in for the Facebook group. And then if you can do that before the stream's over today, I'll get you in there as soon as the stream is complete. Let's see here. So next up, we've got, she's in her apron says that you can edit your live with YouTube editor on the video. Absolutely, you can. But one advantage of downloading it first is you can edit it faster, and you can also just kind of fine tune it. So for example, in the editor, you can say, I want like this section, and then it'll just cut out everything else. And then like, that's all you get. But like if V Terry Hill is wanting to take like, hey, I'm wanting to make like a nice handful of videos out of this live stream, then they need to download it so that they can, kind of section out each part and then kind of tighten them up a little bit. Maybe they add graphics to them, I'm not sure. But then that gives them the, the option to be able to make it just like a more replay worthy or more standalone worthy piece of content. Let's see here. You used to play D in your song and we dance. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if you're talking about the clapping song. I'm not sure if you're talking about the Brian G. Johnson song that we do when I take a break. Not sure the thing. Hey, really quick. So Andrew Can just came into the chat. He just says, good morning, all. So that Discord that I was talking about earlier that's in the description, it's his. So for the creator Discord, I'm actually going to go ahead and just pull this up here really quick as well out of the description. But if you are on Discord, he has just started a creator group. And look, he's not like somebody that's just like starting this creator group and doesn't really know what's going on. Like he grew TubeBuddy's YouTube channel to over 500,000 subscribers. He grew, he's working with Disney on their YouTube channel. He's worked with other like major brands and their YouTube channels. Like he knows like mountains of information about YouTube, and you can get tons of value out of what it is that he's doing. But I'm going to drop a link right here to the Discord. So if you are somebody that is on Discord and you are a content creator and you want to be a part of an awesome group, he just started this the other day. So make sure that you join that, because this is going to turn into an awesome group because he's amazing at community management. So make sure that you check out that group when you get the chance. So Petty Talks TV, my pleasure. Glad that you're enjoying the content. Of course. Yeah, I love doing this too. Like for me, so Petty Talk says, thanks for doing this. For me, I enjoy this. Like it's cool for me to be able to, like my goal with every live stream is hopefully there's one person that's hanging out of all the people that we've had through here so far, which so far, by this number that I'm seeing here, so far we've had like 3,200 people through this stream since we started. So my goal with this is that hopefully one person out of this whole group, hopefully there's more, but at least one person will be able to take some of this information and apply it to what it is that they're doing and start really taking off on their YouTube channel, or that some people will take it and, be able to, slowly grow over time. But the idea is that, more content creators thrive is what we're going after. Because this stuff's hard, there's a learning curve to it. There is, skills that, that you have to build, like all this stuff, like it's not easy. If it was easy, then everybody would have huge YouTube channels, right? It's not easy. It's easier now currently because of YouTube Shorts to grow a YouTube channel just using YouTube Shorts. But if you're like, hey, I don't want to do YouTube Shorts or only be a Shorts channel, or I don't, I want to grow just long form content and maybe dabble in Shorts, then it's a little bit more challenging. But the idea is that I just want as many content creators to thrive as possible, because like if you're new and you're like just getting into this and you don't have any friends that have like big YouTube channels, I cannot put into words the opportunity and the impact that you can have. So the opportunity is what comes to you. The impact is what you can put out. I can't put into words in both directions, like how powerful YouTube and video content is for you as a person and for the people that are interacting with your content. Like it's just incredible. And I want more and more and more, as many people as possible to experience and be able to be able to see that. So let's see here, A Tale of 1,000 Miles.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. With you also, make sure that when you get the chance, go to nimminvip.com. It's going to redirect you to our members only system. And once you get there, connect your account, you'll be able to unlock stuff immediately. And there's going to be a section in there for the Facebook group. Make sure that you follow the instructions there. Go to the Facebook group, put the information in there, and then I'll get you approved before or as soon as the stream is complete today. So let's see here. As we keep on trucking, we've got Brockton Magnet Fitcher. Oh, wait, we did this one already. Copy my title and put it in the description. Okay, next up. So we've got Legend Industries, excuse me, does daily content. They do gaming content. The goal is to grow and eventually make this an income. The question is it a bad thing to mainly do live stream content while making shorts, or should I be making time for short form content as well? Here's the thing. When it comes to YouTube, if people are enjoying your content, it doesn't matter what you make. So you can use YouTube Shorts to get in front of like a lot more new people faster, as long as people respond positively to your shorts. You can use live streams to grow your channel just as standalone content. You can also use live streams to like really connect with the people that are interacting with your content, because you get something from live streams that you just don't get from video content. And then you can use the short form content to add value through that. And then also give yourself the opportunity to show up in, you know, all the other places on YouTube, just like you would with live stream. But because live streams aren't always fantastic on the replay, just based on the structure, right? Like in a lot of cases, people just, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, dead space in between like different things, especially in gaming and stuff. So the regular videos is what we'll call them, the, you know, 16:9 ratio videos. Those are great for putting out content that's more easily consumed by people that like to watch that type of content. And it's shorter, right? Like committing to like a 1 hour replay of somebody that you've never even seen their content before. Pretty big ask. People do it. It's a pretty big ask though, compared to committing to like a 5 or 10 minute video, right? Because then it's like, hey, 10 minutes, I can watch that while I'm like, you know, making coffee, right? Since we're talking about coffee earlier. So, you know, it's definitely something to consider. But one thing that I encourage you to look into is something called content strategy. What content strategy is where you're using very specific pieces of content for very specific reasons. And even within those specific content types or formats, you're also being very intentional with the purpose of each individual piece of content that you're putting out. I recommend that you do look into that as well, because that's something that, you know, that will help make what I just said make a lot more sense when it comes to, you know, using certain content for certain things. RM.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. With you also, make sure you go to nimminvip.com. It's going to redirect you to our members only platform. When you do that, just connect your account, do all the stuff, and then you'll get, you know, some things unlocked right away that you can start using. And then you'll also get access to the members only Facebook group. So let's see here. So next. You know, I thought I had this fixed. I really did. So this broke, and I fixed it once before and it was fine. And then yesterday it broke, or it wasn't yesterday. I think it was during my, my monetization stream. And then, and I thought I fixed it again, but no, apparently not. So basically I had to kind of hack this together because it was too high. So yeah, we might have to just hold this. We're going to see if this will, come on, man, come on. All right, we're just going to hold it. Okay. So I'm just going to set this. Yeah, that puts a new meaning to like a mic drop, right? It's kind of funny. Okay. So I'm just going to hold it here, and we're just going to keep on rolling that way. RM says, no worries. I have that effect on content creators. Ah, love it. Yeah, like, hey, yeah, you join and then the microphone falls. This is your fault. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, so next up, we're just going to keep on trucking here. We've got Bulldog Trading. Bulldog Trading does daily content. The type of channel is 24-hour live stream stock market. The goal of the channel is to entertain and inform people. And the question is, my channel live streams the stock market and has great click-through rate during the day, but I have a solid community of hundreds of people that like to hang out in off hours as well. So I leave my stream up 24/7 to give those people a place to come and chat. Obviously, my click-through rate is getting demolished during off hours since the stock market is only open during the day. Does YouTube take these click-through rates at different times into account and still show my content to new viewers? So the way that you can see this in your case specifically, because this is a pretty nuanced question in terms of the details here. So the way that you're going to be able to see this is if you go into your, you're not going to be able to until your stream is complete, until you actually take it offline. So yeah, they should be showing your content to new viewers. I guess technically you could look at it on the analytics level or on the channel level. Yeah, that way you'd see, but it's still, because I don't think it will actually publish until you turn the stream off. Yeah, so in that particular case, yeah, that's a tough one. Because if you turn the stream off, or if you have other streams that you've turned off in the past, then you would be able to go in there and see like the new viewers that have been, shown that content. But since the one is live, you shouldn't get the data on that in terms of the detailed data until you actually take that offline. So, because of that, I'm sure they're showing it to new people, but when it comes to people responding to it differently at different times, I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. But one thing that you might want to consider is like if people aren't responding to it well at certain times, but then you find that people are at other times, then you also might want to consider just having live streams when people are on and they are responding to it positively. And the win for that is, even though that one video might be collecting a lot of watch time and all of that, because it's 24/7, the win with the other ones is that if you had them on for just like a few hours at a time and then turned them, turned them off, but left them public on the channel, you'd be able to get, watch time and all that stuff really fast. It would all be credited because you would leave those videos public, and you'd be able to get your videos in front of the people that are responding to it the most when they're responding to it the most. So that might be something to consider with the approach that you're taking. Let's see here. So next up on the list, we got Shark Scrapper, my man. Let's see here. So he does edutainment content. The goal of the channel is to increase awareness of scrap recycling and sharks, and to make some money. And the question is, I'm putting what I learned from you and others at Vid Summit to work with my new live stream. StreamYard makes it very easy. Absolutely, they do. I'd like to add sound effects like you do. What's a good way to get started doing that? So in your StreamYard account, if you go into the brand setting, down at the bottom, let's see here, they have the option for background music. So currently they have music tracks here. And of course, you can remove any of these that you don't want to use, but you can also add music. So since you can add music, one of the things that you can do there is you can get the sound effects that you're going to use, and then you can just load them up into that add music area inside of StreamYard, and then you can just trigger them directly inside of StreamYard. Now, if you were not going to do that, if you're like, yeah, that's not how I want to trigger it because I'm focused on like the chat, for example, when I'm streaming, then in that case, you can get, I know if you have an iPad or an iPhone, there was one that used to be called Boss Jock, and I'm not sure if it's still there or not. But there is Andrew, I agree. But there is that there are apps that are sound pads that you could, if you have like an extra phone laying around or an extra tablet, to where you could actually connect that to your computer as well. And then you would be able to feed the audio in through that, but it will get a little bit complicated because you might need to use something like Voice Meter if you're on a PC, or Loopback if you're on a Mac. But that should be able to get you the sound in order to trigger the sound effects that you're after. But like Andrew mentioned right here, he said we should make that a video about that on StreamYard. Yeah, so they do have videos about that on StreamYard already, but they're pretty old. So yeah, we definitely we should definitely add that to the list there and get that video up there. So yeah, so there's some on the StreamYard channel, but in terms of like the app solutions and stuff like that, yeah, that might be one that we'll add to the channel there. That'll be great because that'll give us some extra content to make over there too. So that's good. Let's see here. So next up on the list here, we've got Creative Self-Therapy. Creative Self-Therapy says they do art content. The goal of the channel is for mind escape for viewers and to help others coping with depression. And really quick, I'm going to look because I might have, I'm actually looking right now to see. Yeah, Boss Jock is the one that I have for iPhones. But I'm not sure if this actually still works or not. Yeah. So Boss Jock, this is it. And basically what it is, you can see all these little squares on here. So with these little squares, basically you just tap on it and then you load the sound from your phone and then you can just tap on it. And then when you tap on it, then it'll just play right through. But you have to be able to connect your phone to your computer in order to do it. So if you're using an audio interface, if you're using a USB plug-in mic, then you might not be able to do it. But if you're using an interface, you might be able to actually get the signal in through using like a splitter or something like that to get it in. So the question here for the mind escape for viewers and to help them coping with depression is sometimes I can draw really well based on how I'm feeling and other times I can't. So how can I grow my art channel without drawing tutorials? I would love to tie art in with my background in counseling, but unsure of how to do this since I struggle with depression. What do you suggest? Since you struggle with depression, of course, do what you can. When it comes to the drawing tutorials, you can still do drawing tutorials, even if you're not the best drawer in the world, as long as you're good enough to show people the techniques that you are using and the supplies that you use and things like that. You can still do tutorials even without even drawing. So for example, you can have a tutorial on like the best, colored pencil sets or the best, acrylic paints or the best oil paints or, color theory or what else? Things to keep in mind when you are choosing a canvas or things to keep in mind when you're choosing a sketchbook or, just things, just common things that you deal with as an artist. Making content about that is definitely, a way that you can do that even without even, drawing really. So on those days where you're like, hey, I got to make content, but based on where I'm at in my mind right now, my skills aren't really there today, or I'm just not feeling creative, then in that case, opening that up to, being like a quick tip video on, like the stuff that you use might be the approach for that. So let's see here. So next up on our list here, we've got Rock Lake Meditations by Scott. And hey, really quick, one more time, if you are somebody that uses Discord, my friend Andrew Can, who is in the chat right now, or at least he was, he started a Discord for content creators. I'm going to be hanging out over there myself also. But basically with this particular Discord, it's for content creators to, help you get feedback on your stuff, to help you better understand, if you have questions about YouTube, things like that. So make sure that you check out that if you are, somebody that is on, that uses Discord on a regular basis. So Rock Lane Meditations by Scott says they upload every other day. The type of channel is meditations. The goal of the channel is to help others with anxiety and to share their passion. And the question is it bad to upload more than one long form video per day? Is it better to wait a day? Some channels upload like tons of videos a day and they do fine. But if you're like, hey, I've only had like, if I upload, 4 video, or if I upload, 2 videos today, then it's going to leave me like, it's not going to be another week or 2 weeks until I can upload videos again. Then in that particular case, just pace yourself, right? Upload at a cadence that's comfortable for you to where you're going to be able to stay consistent for a long period of time. And when you do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to build the process of creating, ideation first, coming up with the ideas, planning, researching, creating, editing, and publishing your content. You're going to work that entire process comfortably into your lifestyle to where you'll be able to do it for a long period of time. But if you put this pressure on yourself, like, oh, I need to upload more than one long form video per day, then in that case, it might, one, make you inconsistent. But two, it also might, be a little bit hard to maintain for a long period of time. Possibly. So let's see here. So next up on the list here, we've got Hustling 101. They do drug addiction niche. The goal of the channel is to help people out of addiction. Awesome. Love what you're doing there. And the question is, I've been uploading consistently for a little over 2 months. I gained nearly 600 subscribers in that time. How would you say I'm doing compared to what you've seen on other new channels? You're doing great. So, you know, you're at 2 months and you have 600 subscribers, just so you know. When I started my channel, granted, this was 8 years ago, we didn't have the information available that you guys have now, but it took me 5 months to get my first 150 subscribers. So by those comparisons, you're just crushing me in terms of, you know, how good you're doing. So give yourself a pat on the back in terms of like you're making progress. Like there's some people, some are probably hanging out here that, you know, have been on YouTube for like way longer and they haven't reached, you know, half of what you've made yet. So everybody grows at different rates based on, you know, the content they choose to do, based on the skill sets they bring, based on how fast they can develop new skills, you know, those types of things, based on their, you know, their ideas they come up with for content, all those things. So, you know, you're doing awesome. So, so keep doing it. Andrew Can, thanks, man. Appreciate the super chat. Not needed at all, but I appreciate it. Thank you. And the next one here is from Event Yours of Spirit. Says, for a new tuber who's only been on the tube for exactly 4 weeks with 4 videos and few shorts, what's a good minimal growth rate for subscribers and views? There are no minimal targets noted to help gauge. Everybody grows at different rates. Like I was just saying, actually, with that last question, everybody grows at a different rate on YouTube. Some people will hit the platform and they'll just hit the ground running because the life experience they have previous to coming onto YouTube has already given them the skills required to like thrive right out of the gate. So for example, like me, when I started, even with all the advantages that I had when I started, it still took me 5 months to get my first 150 subscribers. But when I first started, when I first came into YouTube, I already had graphic design experience. I did that professionally. So because of that, I had, you know, that in terms of making thumbnails, video graphics, understanding like color and like all that stuff, you know, first. I had over a decade of sales experience, which helped me on the communication side. I had a little bit of video editing experience. So I already knew what software to use. I already, you know, knew the basics of video editing so I could put videos together. And then I just had to learn a few things like keyframing and, you know, some other little details, color, grading, you know, that kind of stuff. So like I hit the ground running. Other people, like when you hit the ground running, you'll probably grow faster than the people that hit the ground and they've never done anything like this before. Like, you know, the people that come on with those types of skills typically will start out better than people that, you know, come on, they don't even know how to write a title yet that will grab attention, or they don't know how to make a thumbnail yet. And that's perfectly okay, because as you learn how to do those things, then you'll start doing better. And you know, things will move faster for you. But when it comes to, you know, you having 4 videos, you've been on 4 weeks, you're staying consistent, that's what you should be focused on right now. So you should be focused on staying consistent, working the process of creating content.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
You should focus on, as a new content creator, you should focus on staying consistent, focus on learning with every upload that you do, learning the skills required in terms of copywriting, design for thumbnails. This even helps you with like font selection, stuff like that. If you put text in your thumbnails, you should be watching some videos on filmmaking. And the reason for that, I've got like a scratchy throat. Filmmaking will help you just better understand some basic concepts of like videography. Same thing with like photography. It'll help you with like framing and like, you know, the golden ratio, stuff like that. And also watching videos on like public speaking. There's another channel called Charisma on Command. The whole channel is about like charisma and like, you know, personality and stuff like that. But working on consistency so that you can work the process of creating content into your lifestyle while working on developing skills. So right now, in my opinion, as a new content creator, anybody here that's new, you should focus all of your efforts on getting those things in place, because if you can't get those things in place, growth isn't going to matter because you won't be able to sustain it, right? But if you can get those things in place and work the process of creating content into your lifestyle comfortably, then as you start getting better results on your channel, then what's going to happen is you're going to be able to do this for a really long time. And when you go through the process of also developing the skills required, those skills are going to help you be able to thrive on any platform that you decide to go to. It doesn't matter what happens to YouTube in the future. It doesn't matter what, you're going to create new skills that you're going to be able to monetize in different ways in the future if you choose to, or you can just focus it all on making content your call. But basically, you know, focus on developing the skills, because the skills and also the process of the process of creating the content and getting it online, working that into your lifestyle will get you so far. Because what's going to happen is a lot of people started YouTube channels in 2023, right here at the beginning of the year. And they started that as a New Year's resolution because this year they're going to start the YouTube channel. Out of the people that started a YouTube channel, a lot of those people aren't going to be here just a few months down the road. And the reason for that, a lot of them have already quit. And the reason for that is because they are only thinking of making videos for YouTube. They're not thinking that if I'm going to be a content creator, this is going to be something that I'm going to have to do on a routine. This is something that I'm going to have to do and show up for consistently. And because of that, what happened is other things in their life ended up, you know, being more important. So then they just did those instead. And then they've already broken their consistent upload schedule. So because of that, I just really encourage you, if you're a new content creator, to make sure that you are being intentional about, these are the days that I upload. These are the days that I research. These are the days that I reserve, or the hours that I reserve for like skill development, you know, those types of things. And if you do that and you're continually trying to improve and you're doing it consistently, the natural path is growth, right? So because of that, I wouldn't necessarily focus on the growth targets right now as much as I'm just trying to keep improving. So with every video I make, I'm trying to make it better. I'm trying to improve my click-through rate. I'm trying to understand my audience better. I'm trying to edit my videos better. And the improvements that you're making don't necessarily need to directly be tied to the performance of your videos. The improvements that you're making could be, I'm learning so much about this video editing software to where, like, you know, a month from now, my videos are going to be way better. I'm going to be such a better editor. And I know and I understand that I'm in this part of the learning curve right now. And that once I get through this, that's what I'm really going to start seeing some like serious results on my YouTube channel, right? So, you know, instead of focusing on like, hey, what numbers should I be hitting right now on views and stuff, just focus your efforts on the consistency side and working it into your lifestyle so that you can sustainably do it. And then once you get that together, and you're going through that learning curve of getting the skills in place, once those skills are in place and you pop, then what's going to happen is you're going to have that archive that, you know, got you there. And then YouTube's going to start recommending that archive to the people that are enjoying the video that ended up doing, you know, exceptionally better than the other videos. And then that's where you'll start seeing channels like really start lifting off. Let's see here. So Insane Lane, what's going on, man? Says, what are your thoughts on the importance of having a website nowadays? I don't have any digital products to sell, nor do I offer consulting, may in the future. My two niches are reselling and ADHD. So if you are not selling anything or you're not, you know, doing anything like that, sponsors can reach out to you through your About Me page, through the email that you have there. So you're fine there. It's not required. Yeah, having a website is definitely not a requirement. It's advantageous if you want to have like your media kit available there, or if you have other, you know, products or services you're going to be offering in the future, but it's not a requirement by any means. And then there was one that I saw that ended up falling off. Give me 1 second. And there we go. Oop, now that's reloading too. Give me 1 second. And I'll get this one answered for you too. I thought I saw another one. There we go. Nope. Oh yeah, it's still refreshing. Give me 1 second. Scroll to the bottom here. Okay, Omar. Omar says, how often should I put a call to action lower thirds of my video? Please and thank you. So you want to put them in to where it's not too intrusive, right? So what you want to think about is like, if you have like a 5-minute video, then in that case, maybe putting it in there like, you know, once or twice, but just putting it in a place that makes sense, just one can be enough. So like, for example, like I used to have one that does this like flashy thing to where it just kind of flashes and shows up in the corner. And that one, we had times to where I put it in there so much that people would like mention it in the comments, like, hey dude, I get it. You know, I know you want me to subscribe, but like you're kind of overdoing it. So if you put it in there just somewhere in the middle of the video, maybe like a little bit after the video starts getting started, like if you are sharing any type of information or you're teaching people things or anything like that, after you share something good, then having that graphic show up, or even if you're making entertainment content. Like, let's say you're like doing something, you're, you know, telling your story, you're taking people something, and you have this like funny moment, then in that case, right after that funny moment, while their emotion's high, drop that little graphic on there to, you know, to encourage them to subscribe there. If you have a 10-minute video, then adding it to where, you know, to where you have it just like, you know, one extra time, you know, that can be the case there. But just don't overdo it is the approach.
Super chat.
John Cordisco's Corner says, won an appeal on a guideline strike. Several days later, I got another strike for the same video and I lost an appeal. Can I win an appeal and then still get a strike? Have you ever heard of this before? I've never dealt with that before. So I'm not sure if Renee Ritchie's still in here or not, but he might be able to give some insight on that. But I would definitely send a message to Team YouTube at Team YouTube on Twitter if you have a Twitter account. And everybody here should have a Twitter account, like for this particular reason. And it just keeps you up to date with like, you know, just little bugs that happen and stuff like that. But I would definitely at Team YouTube on Twitter and just let them know, say, hey, I got this, I appealed it, it was fine, now I got another strike, because it might be an error of some kind. It might not be, but it could also be. And if you bring that to their attention, they can help you get it resolved. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for hanging out in the stream today. I hope that you learned, I hope that you learned something. And one thing that I do want to mention as well is that, you know, if you're a new content creator, you know, this stuff, like I mentioned before, you know, it can be challenging, you know, like there's a reason that every single person on YouTube doesn't have a big YouTube channel, right? Because it's hard. So because of that, you know, just make sure that you do give yourself the space that you need to also, you know, work on the skill set side of things, because you're already hanging out here. You're working on the understanding part of it in terms of like the nuances of, you know, all the different, you know, parts of being a content creator and YouTube and all of that. But also make sure that you are giving yourself that space in your routine to, you know, to work on the skill set side, because that will, you know, that will get you places faster than, you know, than most of the other stuff that you can do. Because, you know, through the process of developing your skills, it'll help you see things and observe things in a different way. And I know that sounds weird, but like when you work on the skill, it will help you start to learn like what good looks like and what quality looks like, and, you know, those sorts of things. And it can really it can help kind of tune you in to, you know, to what it takes to make better content. So just focus on that. But I do want to encourage you also that, you know, everybody grows in a different place or at a different pace. So just focus on trying to get better with every single video. And I know that we talk about a lot of things during these live streams, but sometimes it can be overwhelming because it can seem like you have this huge laundry list of stuff to do. But just keep in mind, just focus on like a thing or two and just focus on those. And then I'll see you here next week to give you more stuff to work on. So thank you everybody so much for hanging out. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I do this every single Saturday along with other helpful YouTube content. And I will see you. Oh, and make sure you check out the description. I've got a bunch of helpful links for you down there as well to other, you know, helpful tools and resources. And I will see you next time.